Hello, welcome everybody. Let me get that text off. How you doing today? This is Arid in-game name September on the Thunderwing and the new E server, as well as the public test server.
Want some of this? Then you know what to do, dog. Bust a move.
Starting this party off right. LME77, thank you very much for the sub. Wow, man, I really do appreciate that, LME. You guys are very awesome. I really appreciate that. July 27, 2018. Today I'm being hosted by Trion Worlds. So I'm told. That should happen anytime now, which means that I have the Trion giveaways this week. Kind of a little change up here with the giveaways, and yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second. Thank you, Jen, for the bits. Yeah, well, let's just go ahead and talk about the giveaway since we're on that topic. So the giveaways I got for this week is 3 Archaeum packs. Usually we get 4, but this week we only got 3. And I got 1 mana core and 1 of the new costumes. And by new costumes, I mean the Mountain Tribe costume. This bad boy will show the female image of this. Well, a female Trion, a female furry, here right around the raffle time. That's courtesy of Jen Dragon. Thank you. She's already obtained her costume and sent me some screenshots, so I'll be able to show those off to you guys here in a bit. Okay, one more thing about these Archaeum packages. Yeah. So what's going on with these Archaeum packages is they are for the fresh start only. So if you're playing on the legacy servers, I said, if somebody on the legacy server wins one of these, can they trade it in? And the answer to that was no. They are only giving away the fresh start versions today. So for whatever reason, that's what I got, guys and gals. So that's the giveaways today. That's going to be in hour 1. So here at the 30-minute mark, we'll be doing the first giveaway. I'm going to go ahead and get that started right now. Let me get the raffle timer up. Boom. Okay, so raffle timer up in 29 minutes. After the first raffle, we have a special guest today. As some of you that follow me in Discord or saw my Reddit post, I was really just trying to get it out there, trying to let everybody know what's going on. I hear a lot of people say, I don't ever catch your streams. I don't know when you're streaming. It's been the same time every week for over a year now. So, but I know there's a lot of new players coming in, and they don't know when to catch me. But it's every Friday at about this time. If Trion is streaming or hosting somebody else, I will take a back seat and start right after they're done. So an hour from this time is about when I usually start. But if I'm getting hosted,
we're going to end up naked in a river somewhere. I'll need to arrange for a ride home.
There she is. Thank you very much, Trion Worlds, for that wonderful host. Padding those numbers for Twitch. Twitch loves it when I get a big old host like that. So yeah, when my normal stream time is 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're in EU or any other time zone, I'm sorry, I just don't have those memorized. But those are the time zones that I always stream. So after the first raffle, we're going to have GamePro in here, and he and I are going to talk about Hiram gear and what it means in general, but we're also going to talk about it as it pertains to PvP, 1v1 and raid versus raid. And I'm really interested on getting Gamepro03's thoughts, or 03, however you want to say that. We'll get him to say it correctly. Gamepro03, and we'll get him in here, and we're going to talk PvP. If you guys have never checked out his channel, he does stream Archeage as well, and a lot of times he's doing arenas and trying out new classes, trying new builds, trying new weapons and armor. So I could not think of a better person to speak with about these changes because he lives and breathes PvP. And as you all know, that is not really my thing. So also, what we got going on here in the upper left-hand corner, I just noticed it popped up. So Streamlabs has a new little program where you can insert a banner, and that's not really a good spot for it, but there we go. It won't be up there very long, but I just wanted to check to see how it works during a stream time. It's really a crappy thing that I put together using GIMP, and I'm really only familiar with Photoshop, and I don't own Photoshop at my home PC, so I had to use GIMP, and that's about the best I could do. Sponsored by Trion. Yeah, somebody could sponsor me. Hey Moby, how you doing today? Thank you very much for popping in stream. I had a this is to Moby specifically, and I will get with you at the end of the stream, Mobes, but that's going to be late my time. There was a winner from last week's raffle. I had the host last week, and it was Raffle won, and he is claiming that he got a code that was already used. He won a Archaeum pack, so I told him I'd bring it up, and I'm just making good on it. His name's Raffle1. If he's here, please say something if you're still here. There he is. Yeah, so definitely reach out. You know, the thing about doing the host is when I get a host and people win prizes from me, this week we won't have much of a problem, but last week, you know, Trion having to give out the codes and respond to people and wait for responses and all that kind of stuff, I know things get shuffled around there. So there we go. Hey, it's Brassy as well. Brassy, thank you very much. I can't believe last week was the first time I tuned into Arid. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the good comment. And thank you very much for the tip. I sent you a message on the official forums, but I know you're probably swamped out of your mind right now. But thank you very much for the tip last week as well. By the way, everybody, I want to thank everybody out there. I know I've been mentioning people specifically today, but I just want to show you this, and it means so much to me to have your guys' and gals' support. So I'm gonna pop this on screen, and I just want to show you what this looks like on my end. So this is my stream elements tracker, and I started streaming. Well, I don't have my uptime on this one. 8 minutes ago. So as of LME77 was the first sub today. Everything else that's happened here on this list, well, Paradox did a raid with me, but you can look at these names here, and even when I'm not streaming, I even had subs like 5 days ago. Finnaru and D-Shep, thank you both very much for the subs. I wasn't even streaming and they subbed. That's really amazing, and really the support you guys have been giving me while you know, we're in a tough time, you know, with the game, and we're all kind of wondering what's going on. I get it, but I really do appreciate all the support that you guys and gals have thrown my way. It means the world to me, honestly. It really does. That being said, I encourage everybody to take a look at the poll that's in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Click on that little logo and take the poll. I'm asking you what you do to make money. And the reason I'm asking the question this week is because I want to know what the next subject I need to do for YouTube. What do I need to break down? What do I need to look at? What do I need to say, hey, this is what people are doing, this is why they're doing it, here's some things that I found, and you can do it too, type of thing. So if you guys please participate in that poll. Obviously, if everybody clicks, they just buy their gold through Apex or whatever, then, well, there's not really a whole lot of video I can do on that. But there is something I could come up with. So take a look at it. Hey, Omnom. Wow, such a great group. Oh, Brass. Brass, we got you muted. I'll get you fixed here. Permit, Brass, Dwarf. Got you fixed. Sorry about that. I need to make some people mod / regular so that doesn't happen. And probably find a new moderator system. I've got Nightbot and Moobot in here, so both of them are just kind of going nuts there. You muted me for linking my email. Well, now you will not be muted. You got a minute to post that. You can always whisper me and I can put it in there. But anyway, guys and gals, I've got actually a whole list of things to talk about. I could show a little bit. I made some notes today. I got a whole list of stuff to talk about, and I'm going to save a little bit of it because I want to talk with Gamepro03 about it during the second half hour. But what I do have for this first half hour, the first half hour is one last hurrah, if you will, at the locked metallic crates, or the silver crates as they are now called. So what I did this week is I made a bunch of keys myself. I was actually working up September proficiency. That's not the tab I want. To get him to be able to do the sunken ships all on his own accord, because you know the sunken ship, with the labor costs that is now in there, I know like a lot of people that used to do them are like saying, hey man, that labor cost is crazy now. I'm earning half as much gold or whatever. Well, I just figured no one would be doing them, and I could do them pretty easily by myself or with another guild mate. And so I've been working up my exploration proficiency, and so I've been making keys as part of that process. And I also did this leading up to it. Where is my other stack of these? Oh, there it is. I made 2,000 recovery pouches leading up to the July update, because that's at the point when they added, it went from 25 labor and one leather piece to 50 labor and 5 leather pieces. So I made a bunch of these, and so I'm ready to go for shipwrecking. I just kind of need to get up to 110,000 or 90,000 with a upgraded Dawn's Drop piece on it, on myself. So can do the get the shinies off the ships. Aran Kara, does the gold crates even drop Mana Storm crystals? I don't know. That's a good question, and Brass maybe can answer that. I did see something in the patch notes about some kind of change with the Mana Storm crystals. I don't really know what that was because I didn't have any data from before, but I do want to find out. That's one of those things that I would have to get some help from Trion with, and do kind of like a test video on the public test servers. They also said that the silver crates are supposed to be dropping Lucky Sun Point, Moon Point, and Star Point fragments. And I did a video where I opened up 200 and almost 80 of those and didn't get a single one. So if they are to be dropping, they're extremely, extremely rare. Like beyond, why do you even say they drop them? You know, kind of like, okay, I opened, you know, basically 5,000 gold worth of these things, and I didn't even get a single fragment. You know, we're talking fragments here. The fragments takes 3 fragments to make the actual item. So I don't know the rationale. Either they're not dropping, or I don't know. Shoot Who says, Eric, PM me in game and I'll go out with you. I have the Chrome sub. Oh, awesome. Yeah, definitely want to do that. Omnom says the gold crates do drop Mana Storm crystals. I would assume he would know. Rare is rare. Yeah, I did see that, Brass, and the problem with that is the description, right? So in Archeage, you know, we have all these ratings. If you look at the screen here, oh well, we just had a follow there, but if you look at the screen here, we've got basic, grand, rare. So rare is only the 3rd grade of rarity in Archeage. So when you say rare in Archeage, it's not very rare, right? So I guess it has to do with the description of it. If you said it's like mythic rarity, okay, I would get it then. Or as it is now, eternal rarity. All right, Rufagata, thank you very much. And I also had another person ask me about that as well. So they actually got theirs fixed on Thursday. So, you know, like I said in the stream last week when you won those prizes, with the changes that are going on over at Trion, I did expect it to take a little longer than normal. So we've got 15 minutes to go, and what I want to do is open up 100 of each of these crates. I've got the old crates and the new crates, and then I want to look at that, what I'm going to make out of each one, and kind of do this for like what is the old crate worth versus the new crate type of thing. So to do that, I'm going to put all my gold away. So all that, I am so poor right now. Deposit all my gold. All right, so we're going to open up the, let's open up the old crates first. Yeah. All right, let's see what happens. I mean, if you guys watched that last Larceny video that I did, you know that the drop rate for the tier 2 Lunarite's about 1 out of 25. So hopefully I get like 4 drops, and hopefully it's all fire because that's the stuff that's worth the most. But RNG is RNG, and you never know what you're going to get. So here's the old crates. I've got about 1,300 gold in these. I had to buy some off the auction house because what I had left wasn't much. So here is 100 of the old silver crates. Now, I also understand that this is, you know, as these things dry up, they're probably not worth, or this video is not going to do much for anybody because if you can't find them anymore. But if you still have them, you know, it's going to be able to tell you if you should sell them at like 13 gold, what I paid for some of these, or just open them up and, you know, if you can get a silver key. Silver keys are about 18 gold. These crates are 13 gold. So we've got about 31 gold in each one of these silver crates. So let's take a look and see how I end up here. 8, 7, 6, 7, 7, 7, 8. 8's a good luck number. All right, there's 10 in. No big... Ah, there's a 7-pack of fire, baby. That came in around 13 or 14. Oh, we're cracking them. I'd like to get like 5 drops. That would be amazing. Or maybe did I blow all my luck? Did I use up all my luck?
You know what to do, dog.
Hey, there's another one. 33. Wow, Brass, thank you very much for the sub, the donation. Man. Our last CM never did that. Thank you very much, Brass. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we got 2 drops of the fire. That was before 50. So, I mean, I should get 2 more, right? There's another one. All right, another fire at the 53.4 mark. I haven't got any points yet, which is very, very good. Another one at the 64 mark. A 6-pack of the tier 2 fires. Maybe I am used up all my luck there. That was 4 drops. That's what I was expecting to get. If I get another one, that would be very, very cool. There's one at the 85 mark. 5 more fire lunarites. It's hard to beat this RNG, baby. If I get another one, that's just going to blow my mind. 5 left. Nope, didn't get another one, but I did get 5 drops. So that was like a 1 out of 20 chance to get a tier 2 drop. And in my case, it was all fire. All fire. So let's go ahead and do a quick spreadsheet. I am not... I just want this so I can keep track of what's going on. And I'm very aware of the time. So here we go. Drop, quantity, value, total. Alright, so here we go. And I can just look at my OB... No, I can't. Damn it. I was hoping I could just look at OBS without having to use multiple screens here. Oh, by the way, thank you guys, everybody, for your support. I did manage to finally get my 3rd monitor, so things are hopefully going a little bit smoother. With your support, I have got a mic stand, a microphone, an amplifier, a monitor stand, as well as a 3rd monitor. So thank you very much. Everything that I, not everything, but most of the money I get from any Twitch or YouTube payouts, I try to, you know, update my quality of streaming. So let's see, what did I get? I got, let's see, superior, fire, superior, wave, superior, gale. That's just the turd. That's the turd in the punch bowl, if you will. Gale. All right, and then we got, did I get my names backwards? I did. All right, fine fire, fine fire, fine wave, and fine gale. And I'll just write points because, you know, you can get points as well. So superior fire got 29, wave 0, the turd 0, fine fire I got 473, fine wave I got 39, and gale 163. Points 0, and gold I got, excuse me, I got a burp on deck here, and I hate to burp on stream. 663.4173. All right, so let's take a look at the values here. Sorry about that, everybody that's in chat and everybody that's followed. I really do appreciate it. I mean, I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but I really do appreciate your follows, your subs, your likes, your bits, just being here. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the values. $1.65. Does anybody else do that? When they see a goal, do they say like $1.65? Because that's, I don't know why my brain works that way, but it does. Okay, so that's $1.65. $1.65. Okay. How about the turds? Or are they? They're hopping along at 24 silver. Oh no, they're actually averaged at 10.9 silver. Point. Looks like a dime. I'll put in 11 silver for those. 0.11. That's a close enough. I mean, I'm not trying to be exact here, and even if I was, it wouldn't matter. Wave is 54. That's the 7-day average. 54 silver. All right. And the only other value I need to look up is the big dog. This guy, superior. Man, these are going up, if anything, huh? Yeah. Son of a gun. 94. 94. 34. If you're on the fresh start, guess what you got to look forward to. Alright, so I'll show you guys this spreadsheet here in a second, but I'm just going to total this up. So this equals this cell times this cell, and then I can just drag that formula down, and equals sum of everything in these. Okay, let me get that cleared out. Okay, and let's do it this way. Sum. If you guys remember, I said I had 3,100. 3,100
Want some of this?
in these.
Then you know what to do, dog. Bust a move.
Ha ha ha. DSL4, thank you very much for that sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate it. Wow, you guys have been tremendous today. 3 subs, first half hour. Great, thank you very much. So we're taking a look at the old silver chest. And so this is what happened to me. Let me make this font a little bigger and I'll bring it up here in monitor mode. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, so this is the drops, if you will. We can change this real quick. Let's make that white, and this is my go-to color. There we go. So that separates it. So the Superior Fire really dominated. I mean, I almost made my money back on that alone. 13 gold. That would give us. If you want to do the averages, it's actually a really, I don't even need to do a calculation. 4,218 gold is what I'm going to get out of those 100 crates that I opened. That would mean between the key and the crate itself, it's 42 gold. 42 gold, 18 silver value per crate. That's really good. So depending on what you got in your silver keys, you know, they're at 18 gold right now. That means you could pay up to, what, 30, or no, 20 some, or, wait, 24 gold. 24 gold per old silver chest and still break even. Anything under that, as long as you're as lucky as I am, which, you know, how could you be? Or you could be very much more lucky. But anyway, that's what I came up with that. So let's put that away. Let's go back to the cam. And what do we got? I've got 4 minutes left. Hopefully I make it. Let me put this gold away. I don't think I'm going to make it. 6634173 deposit. All right, so all right. Oh, I need to get rid of this stuff so I don't mix up numbers. All right, so let's take a look at the 100 of the new chest. Once again, 1 out of 25 is the tier 2 drop rate. Kind of what I'm expecting. So I should get 4 drops, but who knows, you know. Shivan Rogue, thank you very much for the 10 bits. Dropped a dime on me. Okay, so the first drop was at 21, and that was 2 Superior Wave Glows. From that last video I did, they were pretty steady. About the drop rate. I may have just jinxed myself there. I got star points there. That jinxed me. Jen, thank you very much for the 10 bits. You've been watching videos. Sell Me Gaming, thank you very much for the bit. Pretty much if you get points, that's taking the place of the tier 2 Lunarite. And there's another one. So I've really got boned on this package here. I don't like seeing points at all. It would be great if they didn't interfere with the tier 2 Lunarite, but, you know, as you can see here, it clearly does. I've only gotten 1 tier 2 Lunarite drop out of 83 now. God. And then the fourth drop was more points. So really, really boned. So, yeah. Boned. Unless something good happens. Nope, nothing good happened. That was 100 of the new crates. And we don't even have to run the numbers to know how bad it is compared to the old crates. But let's do it anyway. And since I already have all that the basic work done, I can just copy this over. And boom. Alright, we've got the same values. I need to get the value for the superior wave. Let's take a look at that. And the points, which are negligible. So 45 gold. So we got 0. Chainsaws! Hey Chain, thank you very much for your continued support. 300 bits, taking the top bits, chair spot. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Chain. Superior Gale, don't have to worry about those. Fine Fire, let's see, I got 261 of those. Let's see, it's so even. Wave, 266. And then the Turds, 221. Gold, I did get a substantial amount more gold, but I don't know if that was worth it. 1077.6.
Mamma mia, that's some spicy meatball.
Thank you, Gen Dragons, for the bit. And that sound means it's time for a raffle. So real quick here. This is what happened. I basically lost. I lost some gold here. Nylak coming in with 100 bits. Thank you very much. And Shamrock love to you too. Thank you. That was Nylak. Thank you. We're going to be giving out a key award for the raffles here in just a second. Just so you know what happened, this over here is the new crate. I had... The crates are basically 50 silver each. So that was 50 gold. And again, the keys were about 18 gold each. So that's about 1,850 gold. Basically, I lost about 100 gold right there by opening those. It is what it is. That's what happened to me. Hopefully you wouldn't be so unlucky. Rocksoft Cookie. That's a hell of a name. Thank you very much for the bits. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and get the raffles up.
Want some of this?
I'm going to head over to Nightbot.
You know what to do, dog. Bust a move.
Uvali, thank you very much for that sub. Wow, you guys are just amazing. Guys and gals, thank you, Uvali. Twitch Prime sub. Great, we're headed over to Nightbot. We still in monitor mode, are we? Yes, okay. Let's go ahead and log in. Please don't ask for okay, thank God. I was hoping it wasn't going to ask for a authentication key. So we're going to go ahead and do, for this first raffle, we're going to give away 1 Archaeum pack, 1 Manicore mount, and 1 of the new costume, which I've got some pictures to show you for that. We'll get that going here with a keyword. And the keyword is going to be thanks Trion, THXTRION. Thanks Trion. Alright, there it is in chat. I know it's going by. Just play follow the leader. Oops. What is going on? Alright, if you previously typed it, please type it again. I needed to select the users over here. I always forget to do that. Alright, the keyword is thanks Trion. We have 110 people in here. 112. Thanks, Trion, and thank you, Trion. Honestly, thank you very much for the host, the support. I mean, you even put my name up on your website. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before, so thank you very much. And we're going to thank Gamepro03 here in just a minute. All right, we're going to be rolling here in 40 seconds. 40 seconds. Type that keyword if you want to win. It's THX TRION. Thanks, Trion. Shivan Road, thank you very much for the 50 bits. Power to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Shivan Road. By the way, once again, the Archaeum pack, I need to make sure that this is clear. If you win this Archaeum pack, it is for the Fresh Start server only. Like I said earlier in the stream, I have codes. These are codes, so I will be sending you the code. But I do not have codes for the costume. Those will come from Trion, and I'll explain that here in a minute. So let's go ahead and do the Archaeum pack. Once again, this is for Fresh Start only. It is a code. It will come from me. Here we go. The winner of the Archaeum pack this half hour is the Forbidden Axe. Congratulations. You have won yourself a $150 Fresh Start Archaeum package. That is a big boost to your life. Congratulations. Brass just said the costume and mount will be awarded by Morgan, or is it Morgana? I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that. Via the Twitch Whisper system. But this code will come from me, the Forbidden Axe, and you'll get that here at the end of the stream. All right, the Manicore, I don't have anything special to show off, but let me pop over to Discord real quick. Real quick like. And I want to show you a couple screenshots to... Where is my Discord? From Jen Dragon, who's already obtained the costume and sent me some cool screen grabs. So this is what we got. This is her and her costume. Behind her is a Drake. And we got one more. It's not the Manicore mount. There's a side image. Here's another front-on image. And here's another side image. Anyway, so you can win this costume as well as the Manicore mount. So we're going to get ready to roll that. Again, the keyword is the same. THX Trion. Good luck, everybody. This is for the Manicore mount first. The Manicore mount is going to... Wow, congratulations, you're rookie. Isn't that Hacks right there? Hacks. You're rookie, congratulations. You've won yourself the Manicore mount. That's amazing. Again, that's going to be coming from Trion. And we've got one of these new costumes to give away. You're very welcome. You are very, very welcome. See, that's the thing about being a host is you can't win. You can't win. So here's this costume. This is the Mountain Tribe costume. Good luck, everybody. Here we go. Terry, or Terry, congratulations. You have won yourself the Mountain Tribe costume. That's awesome. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Tyree, I've wrote down everybody's names. We're going to be setting up another raffle here in about 30 minutes. And we're going to give away 2 Archaeum packs, so stick around for those. That being said, I'm going to jump over to my Discord and see if my buddy, Gamepro03, is available. And let's talk about some Hiram. go back to full cam. He said he had to rush home. Rush home. All right, let's take a look. He's here. All right. Hey, GamePro.
Hey man, how's it going?
Great. How are you doing today?
I'm sick, so excuse if there's a bit, like, you know, of congestion, because that's just going to be there.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Thank you very much for agreeing to join me. And I know Trion asked
Want
you.
some of this? Then you know what to do, dog.
Yeah.
Bust a move.
Yeah, generally it's tougher for me since I work during this time. Then I got sick, so it doesn't matter.
Right. I saw your Twitters. Chief Homie, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. You guys are rocking me today. Thank you very much, Chief Homie. So, first of all, just in case people do not know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you like to do in Archeage?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've been playing pretty much since the game came out. I've been streaming for a couple of years at least, I think, but generally stick to PvP stuff. And I'm that guy with a really weird, incredibly paper-thin crit build that you've probably seen here or there. That's probably it. That's probably all people really need to know.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for the questions. I'm really jumping around a lot, so if I don't get to your questions, it's not because I'm purposely ignoring you. It's just because I've got a lot going on.
We're going to end up naked in a river somewhere. I'll need to arrange for a ride.
I'm going to be putting Sparks. Thank you very much for the. That was a host. Thank you very much, Sparks. I do appreciate it, Sparks. I don't want that to sound ungrateful, but thank you, Sparks. I'm going to be putting a link to Gamepro03's channel here in Twitch. As I described him a little bit earlier, he really enjoys PvP, as he just said. And he loves playing with different builds as well as unconventional armor sets. So
I'm
here,
right here, dude. Hello. I can just say these things.
So here's a link to his channel. If you guys please show him some love, give him a follow. Okay, so I've been saying Gamepro03. Is it Gamepro03 or Gamepro03?
Yeah, it's funny actually because for 15 years since I made this in 2003 and I started online gaming, I had never thought of this, but I guess people just don't pronounce the zero. But I don't care, it doesn't really matter. It's technically you pronounce the zero, but I don't care what people call me. As long as it's written the correct way, it doesn't matter.
Right, and then you get into the issues with, is that an O or is that a big O or is that a zero?
Yeah, that's true. That doesn't matter, whatever. I don't care what people call me. That's the name.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Right, exactly.
All right, so the topics that I wanted to discuss with GamePro is let's talk about Hiram. Did you see this crazy thing that was posted? I think it was just a couple days ago on the official Archeage forums, where they were talking about how everybody in Korea basically is just going Hiram plate, screw everything else because it's the best.
No, that's really strange, especially considering how many videos I'm seeing with mages doing all the AoE stuff.
Yeah, but it was mages and archers. Shivan Road, thank you very much for the bits. It was mages and archers that are running plate. Because
what's different on Fresh Start compared to legacy servers? Because most of the videos that I'm watching are on legacy servers from Korea.
That could be. So let me see if I can juggle another ball here. let me see if I can juggle another ball here and find this post.
You need a fourth monitor, man.
Right, I know.
Enough.
And the way the guys are supporting me today, that might be sooner rather than later. Although I'd have to buy another monitor stand because I only thought 3. I thought 3 would be plenty, right? All right, so this was in the I think it was it's this first post. And I'm going to send this to you in Discord as well.
Yeah, I actually want to see this. I'm curious where they're getting their sources from.
It's
interesting.
This was from the XL forums, and it was translated, and I don't read Korean, so how they translated it, I'm not 100% sure. Let me get you here. So there's a link in Discord, but basically what he was saying, let me see. If you look at his number 7, it says, "Why do you throw away the sheet metal?" Which somebody translated it, yeah. They're talking about obsidian, but that's not it.
No, that's translated to "Why are you throwing away plate?" I don't know about that. From what I saw, it doesn't necessarily seem that way.
There was another comment, and it's been I was reading this earlier this morning, but anyway, let's not dwell on something that we don't really have an answer to right now. I should be in monitor mode when I'm doing this. But, you know, the idea is, and I've had people ask me this too, was why not go plate? I mean, here that's a good question. Why not go plate? I mean, if you can pick your stats, if you can get plate with intelligence or stamina or agility, and then your critical bonuses or your resilience or your toughness or your move speed, why not go plate? I mean, it used to be you were limited to the armor sets based off of the bonus.
Yeah.
Aranor kind of changed that, right? Aranor changed that originally, but I mean, who's got that kind of gold? Not me. But the Hiram, you know, why not go plate? Does it make sense to you in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a couple of reasons, especially with the grade changes for armor, where plate now gives the highest amount of health for these higher grade bonuses. So maybe people are just going a little bit less on mitigation and making it up for it in just pure HP values that can also be healed up. So I'm sure there's a little bit of all that kind of mixed in. That makes sense. I mean, it also depends on how you want to play, but at the same time, you know, the leather, the cloth, and the plate buffs, they're all essentially the same now. They're not helping out, you know, crit rate for leather or crit damage for leather and all that. That's all gone. So I'm not surprised that they're all going plate, but it's one of those things that's like anything can change at any time, and especially I do want to keep people in mind, or you know, keep in mind that it's all in Korea right now. We don't even have that exact same system yet. We don't even have the abyssal skill set yet, so anything can change before it gets to our version. Just keep that in mind. And then you've invested so much time in plate, and then it turns out, you know, oh, they nerfed it because they knew that it was too powerful, you know?
Right, and I mean, you always got to keep that on the back of your mind, and that's kind of why, like, I mean, if you guys want to look at my gear set, I always was like, I didn't want to go past, I didn't want to take anything of mine past rank 5 Obsidian, because I never knew if I was wanting to, like, switch to healer or something like that. And I still maintain that small option. But when you go like full set Aranor, you go plate, you go leather, you go whatever, you're committed, man. I mean, although the Aranor itself is tradable, but good luck, you know. If you're running a full set of plate and you want to switch to cloth, you know, who out there can trade you a full set? I mean, and right, at the right level. I mean, it's just, I mean, you got to pick your path, and who knows what's going to happen. XL is not afraid to change things, not in the least, right?
No, absolutely. In the last couple of years, we've been seeing so much. Well, last year even, we've seen some of the craziest changes, which is, I mean, it's good and bad. Obviously, they're trying to figure out ways to make the game a little bit more fun, I think. But yeah, more importantly, I do really want to stress that if you're playing a video game, you should just be having fun. And a lot of people go to min-max everything. Especially if you're me and you're that weird guy who's just trying to make crazy crit damage happen. But it's a little bit less enjoyable than just playing the game and doing stuff. So, I don't know, I would say just go whatever armor type you want, especially ones that have cool bonuses on them, or like, you know, even things like mixing in other armor sets into it, just so that you have stuff to do and bonuses. You know, like people mix in the Serp Combine set for the belt, you know, because they want that ability for the 25-meter telekinesis, or they want the Serpentis wrists because they want the invincibility. Do these things. Don't worry about like everything else, and don't worry about what other people are doing. Min-maxing is less fun. It takes a little bit more time, so just something to keep in mind. I know people still will do it, but that's just my 2 cents on it.
So what are you playing with now? Like, what class, what build are you, well, I don't think you can go through the whole build, but what class are you working with right now?
Yeah, for those that have seen my stream and such, I am playing a hilarious Hellweaver build, and a Hellweaver is the same to melee things, you know, Battle Rage and Shadowplay with sorcery. And if you're on Legacy servers, you have access to the Abyssal skill sets, and I highly encourage using Sorcery Abyssal because it has the Void Leap ability, currently still. That's going away. But I've just been spamming Void Leap consistently in battle all the time, nonstop, and it's hilarious, and that's what I've been doing. Especially with my my crit build. And the crit build is literally as much crit as I can get for the lowest amount of cost. So I'm actually in level 31 dungeon gear. I think all that's, well, because, hey, man, level 31 dungeon gear is great. Okay, go look at Cold-Blooded and Dark Crawlers, man. That stuff is, that stuff is brilliant. And I have it all at Legendary and Mythic. I need to get it at Eternal, though, for the extra gem slots. But the point is it's fun. That's all that I care about. Like, I don't care about, if I die constantly, who cares? Whatever. That's the point.
Man after my own heart. Make your own fun, people. That's what I always say. If you're not having fun, you're playing wrong. And
that's sad. It's sad because people actually do that too. People are just trying to min-max everything, or spending lots of money just to get something really, really fast, and then, you know, it's, I don't know. I guess I'm just the weird one. Maybe I'm the goofy one, but yeah.
Well, it's great to see that you take the same attitude that I do towards making gold, and you apply it to PvP. And I was actually in your stream when you were regrading, I don't know what you had, 30 or 40 of these pieces of that level 30 gear. And I was just watching this. And
that was about 250, yeah.
It was crazy. And I think you even got a little bit of flack from people on your server as those regrades started popping up. They were like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, it's true. It's pretty hilarious. Just the fact that I got a mythic level 31 dungeon boots and I'm still using it today is hilarious. But again, it's hilarious. Like, it's funny. Like, that's all I care about. Like, I don't care about winning. I just want to have fun. And I wish more people took that mentality and ran with it instead of, you know, doing everything they can to win every fight, because that's not as fun. I don't know. I don't commemorate people for just one-shotting everybody, even though that's literally my build, but I don't commemorate myself for it either, so it's not really a thing, you know?
So when it comes to PvP, do you actually go out into the open world? What is your life like besides arenas?
Yeah, a little bit less nowadays, since I'm still on the Kraken server. I've been pretty busy lately, so I haven't had too much time to play. I'm usually in the underdog faction. I'm always in the underdog faction, so going out to PvP events is just, you know, much smaller numbers fighting the bigger player nations and such, and I'm fine with that because that's more interesting to me. There's actually a challenge involved, so that's why I stick with it. But right now I've actually been, well, as of like 2 days ago, when I got back from vacation, I've been playing a Warboard on the Fresh Start server. So, not the most interesting stream ever, but I want to get to level 50 there and start actually doing stuff. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. And on my main, I'm still doing the Hiram stuff pretty much. So I want to see what the PvP is like on Fresh Start.
Yeah, it is interesting. I don't know what's going on lately. So I had, you know, after the Hiram double drop event ended, that was what, on the 18th, nobody was out there farming the Hiram gear, and I was like, there's no way you guys all have tier 2 divines. There is absolutely no way. Not only because you can't have the scrolls, but the amount of XP that a full set of that stuff would require is bonkers. It's not going to be done in you know, a week of double drops. You know, not for Fresh Start. Legacy, maybe. Yeah. I've seen some screenshots where they had a couple thousand pieces. Okay, that'll get you close, but it takes 1,000 to get a full set anyhow. But they also did increase the XP from them, so and the new daily buys and all that stuff that you can get. So, I mean, Legacy, I could see someone having a full set of Divine already, but on the Fresh Start, no way. So anyway, my point being is I was out there doing my farming like I do. I try to do an hour every day. I know that's not a lot considering how much I need, but I try to do an hour every day on Fresh Start among whatever else I'm doing. And the first few days, there was nothing. Like, nobody was out there, and I didn't get jumped. I didn't even see anybody. These last couple days, every time I go out there, I'm getting attacked. And it's not because they want the spot. It's not because they want honor. It's just because they want PvP. And what I don't like about it is they always, like, these people that are attacking me are always doing it when I'm engaged. You know, when I've got 2 mobs on me. That's when they show up. You know what I mean?
So, and I know this is like the frustrating thing. There's a ton of frustrations with it. There's that. There's the fact that it's a low drop rate, so people don't even want to go. Just keep in mind, the design of Archeage is specifically for raid versus raid. The design is for Korea, where most people play in the same time zone of Korea. And so, you know, if somebody comes over there and ganks you, you just tell your 20 friends to come over, and now it's a 20 versus 20. Like, that's normal. That happens all the time. That's the design for it. And unfortunately, people don't do that as much. People will go and get ganked and then feel really bad and say, oh, I don't like PvP. This is all you know, stupid and blah blah. But the real mentality should be, oh, I get ganked. Instead of saying this sucks, you should say, well, I hope people would be saying, what can I do to do this better next time? And that is usually get a guild, get friends, become active, get more people, and that's sort of the natural progression here. But it is very easy to just say, I don't want to do this, and then go do something else, right?
Yeah, and I mean, where I'm at, and I think people know how I play. Basically, what I do is I don't participate in PvP. I will defend myself, but that's pretty much it. And unless I want to, like it's an event, Halcyona, Miss Morrow, I do those. But when it's just open world PvP, not only, I just don't find any joy in it. But I do recognize what you're saying, where that's the way the game was designed. Yeah, you know, I've had those situations where I got jumped, or I'm in a spot and I'm, you know, just trying to farm, and some guy jumps me, and I'm like, man, you know, who's around in the guild can come help me, you know, especially if I can't kill the guy, right? You know, gear gap or whatever. It's basically, you know, but my mentality is, I'm at this point when I'm attacking somebody, because it's not something I enjoy, I'm essentially wasting my buffs. And if I've got like a 60% loot drop buff, I don't want to spend 5 or 10 minutes fighting for a spot just for 10 minutes, and I'm wasting a loot drop buff. You know, that's 50 gold.
Right, exactly.
You know, that's my thought. And I realize that that's not technically the way the game was designed, but that's how I play it. So anyway, so do you have any thoughts? How is... have you seen, I guess on the Legacy server you probably don't have any really, there's no one really running around in a full set of Hiram yet, is there?
No, not really. Most people will stick to their, you know, tier 7 legendary obsidian set, and probably will for the foreseeable future. But, or, you know, whatever obsidian they have in general. But the point is that, unlike servers, it's kind of, you know, we have all the stuff from before. We don't really have to worry about armor for a very long time. But the armor is good. I mean, it's not like it's bad. On Fresh Start, I'm sure people are going after it just because it gives things like resilience, which generally helps. Yeah, I don't think most people are hunting for the armor. I think unlike servers, it's all offhands, bows, and I'm sure for some people main hands as well. Was, you know, in preparation for that tier 3.
All right, so what, I know you talked a little bit about this. What are you doing to prepare for some of the changes coming? By the way, Moby and Brass, thank you very much for the host today. I really do appreciate it. I know you guys are going to be switching that off and heading over to Atlas Reactor, another game that I play. But I do appreciate you guys being here and chatting with the chat. I mean, that's really awesome of you. So thank you. Also, Shaven Rogue, once again, 35 bits. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I completely lost my train of thought. What was I? Oh, what are you doing to prepare for the upcoming abyssal changes to the skill tree? Is that what you're?
Oh man, Oh, do I want to talk about this? Yeah. So for those that don't know, in Korea, they're currently sitting in a much different version of the game, which I'm surprised we haven't gotten yet, and it kind of hints that maybe XL didn't like how it went out. I don't know, but they don't have the abyssal sets under each skill set anymore. You can't choose which one is abyssal. They just have an 11th skill set called the abyssal skill set. Now they have this. They've been playing with it for a little while now, a few months, I would say, I guess. But in addition to that, they've also sort of the point system changed, where they don't have to put skill points into passives anymore. They just happen naturally as you take the regular skill points from each tree. So there's a mix in this. You can always go to Mark's website, omnum.io. He explains all of it much better than the 3 seconds that I've explained it. But yeah, honestly, I would honestly prepare for this, and I do advise people to do so. And I have been preparing for this. So keep in mind, for those of you that are like me and have almost no passives taken, you and me are all screwed over because we've lost a bunch of active skill points. I would encourage everybody in that in that sort of pool to take out all of your active skills that you don't need, put them into passives, and just start practicing that way, because that's going to become the gameplay anyways, and starting early is always good. Otherwise, it's going to feel very strange once that patch hits.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough pill to swallow, and we've been swallowing quite a bit lately, so...
Yeah. I'm surprised, though, honestly. We haven't gotten it yet, and generally the patches have been pretty quick as of late. So maybe they didn't like something, maybe they want to tweak a few more things before we get it, but it almost seems intentional. That's why I'm kind of like, be careful with what you're choosing with Hiram gear, be careful with what you're doing here or there, because things do seem like they're up in the air. And we know that because there's been complaints from Korea as well about various systems that have come out.
Yeah, that does make absolute sense. So just a reminder, everybody, we got raffles coming up here in about 7.5 minutes. What we have left to give away is 2 Archaeum packages, and those are going to be for the Fresh Start servers. That's the big dog. That's the $150 package, and so you'll get 2 opportunities to win those here in about 7 minutes. But we're going to continue to talk with Gamepro03.
It doesn't matter. You can call me whatever you want.
I'm sorry?
You can call me whatever you want. You keep messing up your 0303. It doesn't matter.
Okay. GamePro, how's that? GamePro.
Yeah,
So anyway, there was other things that I wanted to talk about today, and I don't know you well enough to know how versed or how much you even care about some of these systems. But one of the big changes that I'm going to be speaking about here in the hour or 2 of my stream is changes to gold acquisition. Now, that's a very broad topic, but what I'm talking about is how 2 things have happened, and the list is way too long for me to list. But for the last multiple series of big updates, we have seen a strong reduction in the amount of gold each profession generates, whether you talk about larceny, trade packs, fishing, sunken ships, crafting, all that is down. So can I just ask you, what do you do to earn gold, if you don't mind sharing?
I take advantage of the auction house, so I don't even use labor. I just manipulate the auction house, and not by manipulation of making prices go higher. Mostly just refining things, because I don't really need money anymore. I'm at my end game with my level 31 dungeon gear. I don't really care. So I haven't been doing too much in terms of gold stuff. I've been, farming crates and selling that kind of stuff. I can't do it as much as I used to before because Mysterious Garden Powder is pretty far down in price. But I do still have thoughts about the general gold income and everything from over the years and how things have developed. If you want, we can go over that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. What do you think the end game or the goal of XL is, making all these changes to basically increasing the labor costs pretty much across the board in various ways? Like in the trade packs, it's not as obvious, but simply by requiring more processed materials, they have increased the amount of labor that trade pack costs. That's not even if they would have just said, hey, it's going to cost 15 more labor to turn in, everybody would have jumped. But when they increase the labor, or they increase the amount of processed materials, that's indirectly increasing the labor cost to move that pack. It may not be the person moving the pack that pays that, but somebody's paying that labor. So we could take a look at each one of these systems and see. Sometimes it's very blatant, like sunken ships, but they've increased the labor cost on pretty much everything, except for Larceny. Well, kind of Larceny a little bit. I mean, that's semantics there. They decreased the coin purses, the ancestral and the queens, but they basically toileted the crates.
Yeah, the crates are right. Everybody was only opening up crates, so now it's kind of a little bit different. I don't know. I haven't done too much math on the crates yet.
Yeah, and neither have I. But I mean, the mysterious garden powder is in the toilet, man.
Yeah,
I was. I can't remember what I was looking at. I think it was on they're down to a gold on the Legacy North America server. I think they were like less than a gold, like 50 silver or something like that. And
by the way,
I think it was.
I do find it funny, by the way, that chat is talking about using charcoal as the new currency, which is probably going to happen. So we'll just stick with it. No more gold. It's just going to be charcoal for everything.
But is that? I mean, when I get into talking about what happened to crafting, most of the charcoal, well, besides like the hereafter stones and like the food buffs, but a lot of the charcoal was being consumed in crafting. And as people, especially on the Fresh Start server, as people are just not working, I mean, we don't even have the option to craft ionads, which is a truckload of charcoal, by the way.
Right.
But if we did, how many people would actually do it, or how many people are going to do it? And especially when Tier 3 Hiram comes out. I mean, you might want a good placeholder weapon or something like that, but you're not going to go and craft a full set of Ionad armor just to replace it with your Tier 3 Hiram. So yeah, I mean, what do you think the goal of XL is with basically lowering the amount of gold that you can acquire given a set of amount of labor?
Right. So I've actually been noticing some pretty expected math from what I've been doing in my little calculations off to the side. Over the years, I've kind of noticed that the general income that that the game sort of wants you to make per labor point is dependent on whether or not it's a perfectly safe thing or perfectly risky thing. And if it's risky, it does seem like the game wants you to make 10 silver per labor. And if it's not risky, like it's in a safe zone or something, it's like it wants you to do 5 silver per labor. And these are actually pretty low numbers. I'm sure most people are like, "What? That's ridiculous. I don't make any. I make much more than that." And I do too. But that's kind of what it seems to be. That's what a game wants you to earn, especially when it comes to things like fishing. So a lot of things are much better than that, and it's just very clear that they're nerfing things that are a little bit better than that, and trying to make it so that the values are the way that they want it to be, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts, at least.
Rillam BE Hiram grind is not intense at all, Arid. It is very realistic. No, and I completely agree with you. We'll circle back to Hiram here in just a second. But I want to close up this gold talk here. We're going to talk more about that here in the next hour. You guys saw the notes. We're going to talk a lot more about these changes. But I do agree with you, GamePro, because generally what I always looked at is what they give out of the coin purses is about what they want you to earn per labor point, or at least that's what they're comfortable with people earning. But I always separated that in my mind because things like trade packs and things like coin purses, those put gold into the system. Whereas stuff like when we were doing Larceny before 4.5 or before this patch, July patch, we actually made most
Mamma mia, that's some spicy meatball.
That sound means it's time for the raffles, and we'll do that here in just a second. But the systems that put gold into the system would contribute to inflation, whereas like the crates and selling mysterious garden powder, it was a neutral transaction, or even a negative transaction if you look at the fees that they got. It was just putting money from one character to another character. It didn't cost the system. It didn't contribute to inflation, and if anything, it reduced the amount of gold in the system, like I said, for the sell on the auction house transaction fees. So anyway, as far as the Hiram gear, and I'm pulling up the raffles now, but I also wanted to say this about Hiram gear in response to Rillam, and I've said this in another stream before. The difference, I actually think the Hiram gear is actually a very, very good thing for Archeage. I think the system is, even with what they've got going on now, I could do without the Hiram being purchased for credits and loyalty and stuff like that, those infusion packages. But I think the system is very good. Where it fails is actually a part of a flaw that I have with Archeage, in that if somebody comes to this game, they can either drop, $500, $1,000 and get a full set of crafted gear in day one, or they can spend 3, 4, 5 months farming up Hiram gear every day. If everybody had to do that farming, the system would be completely balanced, but it's unbalanced by the fact that there's another option to gear up. Do you have anything to say about that, GamePro?
Man, you're seeing so many games, so many MMOs doing a system like that, where you're upgrading the equipment that you got, and it's not tradable. It's just, that's what your equipment is, and it just gets better and better over time. It's a system that you see in newer MMOs, and it's kind of a system that they really want to make work almost very clearly on Fresh Start. But I think in general it'll feel a lot better once 5.0 hits. The new area opens up. We'll be able to farm those mobs for what I assume would be better drop rates for Hiram stuff. I don't really know yet about that, but that seems to be the future that they're going for. And again, a lot of MMOs are doing that. I don't blame them. It's a little bit weird for legacy servers to be adopting that system, but it makes sense for Fresh Start, and I mean, Fresh Start's obviously in a totally different place than Legacy, so that's kind of why.
Yeah, and it also looks like I'm going to pop over to monitor mode. We're going to start these raffles now. We got 2 Archaeum packs we're going to give away, and I'm going to give you guys the keyword right now. It is host day. That's all one word. The keyword for the 2 Archaeum packs is host day. Keyword is host day. Typing that in chat, send that out. We're going to give you guys a couple minutes to get yourself in it. All you have to do is type the keyword. Once again, the keyword is host day. Let me make sure I've got everybody clicked on. There we go. I'm not getting my eligible users popping up, but I am seeing names come in. There it goes, 116, 121. Keyword once again is host days. Host day. So on the Fresh Start servers, they are definitely moving towards the Hiram, but again, there is always that option of spending some money, and they're not afraid to take it if you're going to give it to them. But they didn't. One thing they didn't do is, and they doesn't look like they intend to do, GamePro, is it doesn't look like Obsidian's coming to Fresh Start ever.
No, I'm 100%. Well, okay, I'm 98% sure of that.
Yeah.
I am 98% sure that they will never merge Legacy and Fresh Start for that reason as well. And who would want to? Because the whole point of Fresh Start is you don't have to deal with all the crazy buffs that people have and all this and that Legacy servers have gotten over the years. I don't see them merging. It would be terrible. I don't think anybody wants to merge anyways between Legacy and Fresh Start. So just don't expect it if that's what you're hoping for.
I completely agree with you. So I sounded like you were playing a little bit in game. Did you want to stick around for a little bit after this break and talk about some of these other changes, or do you got things to do?
No, I'm free. No, we could chill.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and roll this raffle. We've got 2 Archaeum packs Once again, these are for the Fresh Start servers, and these are codes that will be sent to you from me via Twitch Whispers at the end of the stream. We got 2 hours left, and we're gonna pull in Gamepro03 for a little extra overtime, and we're gonna talk about some of these other changes. And by the way, just a reminder to everybody, if you are a regular in my channel, and anybody that is following me now, you are starting to earn air coins, and those will get you some special prizes, and you too can join us in voice simply by redeeming your air coins, and we can talk about whatever's on your mind. So there are redemptions available. We'll check those every hour after raffles. That's the bottom right hand corner of the stream. Hit that little Streamlabs icon, and you'll see what you can spend your coins on.
Wow, can I gamble them all away?
You certainly can, and I've done that.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
I've lost all my coins. And I don't even know how to give myself more coins. It's just crazy. I just got to be in my own stream.
Right, exactly.
All right, so we're going to pick out 2 winners here for Archaeum packages. If you've already won one today, that's a handful, which is the Forbidden Axe. That's the only person that is not eligible. So here we go. The second 2 winners of the $150 Fresh Start Archaeum packages are number 1, Physical. Congratulations. Wait, yeah, Physical. Seriously.
Oh my god, yeah, his name popped up. Wow, look at that. He's talking in chat too and participating and PMing me.
Wow, congratulations,
That's not
Physical.
rigged at all.
Yeah, he's not even following. How could I rig it? Congratulations, Physical. You got yourself a $150 Archaeum package. Woohoo! All right, we got one more winner coming up. Just had to get the name down. Here we go, and the last winner of the Archaeum package is... Wow! Kriya, my man, you have won yourself a $150 Archaeum package.
Oh yeah, true.
Thank you very much for the retweet today. I saw that.
Yeah, it's totally rigged, guys. I don't understand.
It's totally rigged. Totally. Congratulations, Kriya. You just got that amazing RNG. Yeah, he's happy. Congratulations. That is a $150 Archaeum pack. If you did not win this hour, don't be sad. We've got more prizes coming up on the next hour. We're going to be giving away a Vero weapon skin as well as a Apex. Those are the Apex is coming out of my pocket. The Vero weapon skin is from the Trion Creator Program. If you're interested in being a Trion creator like myself and like Gamepro03, all you have to do is go to Trion.com/Trion Creator, or is it just Creator? But just type in Trion Creator in Google, and it'll tell you where to go. And if you have some dedication to creating content, whether it's on Twitch, YouTube, forums, post, anything like that, thank you, Physical. I just saw that. I hope I earned a follow with that. I mean, we rigged it so you'd win. I mean, come on.
Right, of course.
Thank you.
That's not true, by the way. It's not true. It's not rigged. I just gotta say that. You know.
It is definitely not rigged.
Reasons.
Yes, it is definitely not rigged. So anyway, we do have additional raffles coming up here for the next hour. The Trion Creator Code is for the Vero weapon skin. That's what we got this month. And the Apex, which will come out of my pocket, that's available for the Fresh Start as well as the Legacy servers. You do have to pick up on a server that I actually have Apex on for logistical reasons, but anybody can make it a character. Level 1, you can use an Apex, no problem there. I'll mail it to you. Learn more about that here when those raffles come up. So the raffles in, let's see, 45 minutes, and we're starting that timer right now. All right, so in this hour, everybody that, thank you very much. I have Gamepro03 with me as well. In this hour, we're going to be talking more about Archeage. some of the changes, like I said, I have a whole list of stuff that I want to go over, and so we're gonna do that. We're gonna talk about this stuff, and we're gonna get some input from GamePro and find out what he's thinking. You guys got to understand that him and I have a mutual respect for each other, or at least I respect him.
No, I don't have any respect for you. You keep getting hosted by Trion, and you get all these cool people in your chat. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, obviously we're all chilling.
We do have a mutual respect for each other, and that being said, we also play the game much differently. I'm more into the, as everybody would call, potato stuff, and
which is fine, by the way. It's totally good.
It's totally fine. You know, like we said earlier, play the game how you want to.
Right.
Yeah. Brassy is still in here learning. Oh wow, cool. Brassy's still kicking it with us. Or Brass. I'm sorry, I keep saying Brassy, and I don't know when I'll ever stop saying Brassy. Brass is still in here. Okay, so let's go into this. Okay, so you said this earlier, GamePro, and I actually have it written down as well as a note. Larceny. Mysterious garden powder is in the toilet. We just looked up at that. So when we're talking about gold acquisition and how you earn gold in this game, one thing that I didn't list in my poll was what you do, and I also do it as well, is what I like to call the stockbroker. And the reason I say stockbroker is basically you're playing the markets, buying low, selling high, right?
Right, yeah.
And I mean, you called it market manipulation, but you're not really doing that.
That's a bad way to. Yeah, that's not correct terminology.
It does have a negative connotation, and so
that's totally different. That's what's happening with Apex right now, and it's not good.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at that now that we've got that sale going on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Let's see. Yeah, it's actually down. It went.
I'm looking on your screen because my Warburn doesn't have Patreon and never will, so I don't know what's happening.
Okay, so yesterday it was 1900. Today, it's averaging 1769, and you can actually buy it for around 1600. So that is, it's not quite a 30% discount, which is what you get. Which I needed. I was supposed to do this on the first hour of the stream, but I'll do it now. There are specials going on right now in the Trion World's website. The special stuff, new RNG box that has the Manticore mount as well as the Mountain Tribe costume. We can take a look at that. That's this new RNG box. Those are 450 credits each. And additionally, they have a buy 5, get 1 free Apex, or buy 10, get 3 free Apex. So what that amounts to is if you spend $50 on Apex, you basically get 20% bonus for free, 1 Apex, or $10. That's how the math works in my head. If you buy 10 Apex, you get 3 free, which is a 30% discount. $100, you get 3 Apex, $30, that's 30%. That's how the math's coming out in my head. Is that actually going to translate into the Apex prices falling 30%? Wow, that's a highlight. I don't think so, because if you're taking 1900, it would have to go down close to 600 gold, and I don't see that actually happening. But it is something that that is out there, and we are starting to see the Apex prices dip a little bit. What I did not write down was how long this sale is going for, and I don't know necessarily that they even said. If I remember correctly off the top of my head, it just said summer sale. And what that amounts to is I don't know. Let me take a look to see if it actually mentions how long the sale is for. But that does affect you if you have been saving up a little bit of gold. You might want to purchase some of these Apex during the sale, especially if you have other accounts that you want to patron or keep playing with. buy it while the apex is down, which we were just talking about, which is buy low, sell high, or buy low and use. Let's see here. Here is the information. It is posted. I'll post a link to the Trion sale, Archeage sales. There you go. There's everybody a link to what I am looking at. Here is a image of the Manicore mount that Yuruki won. Congratulations to her once again. Oh yeah, okay, so the sale actually ends on the 31st. So 4 more days. So that is a very small window, not even a whole week to get these bonus apex. So if you got the gold, I suggest stocking up. Okay, now that that is out of the way, let's continue on our talk about gold changes or gold acquisition changes. Once again, I mentioned that it seems like it's across the board, and I talked a little bit about some of the other professions, but I'd like to go through them one by one. So what has happened to larceny, and I know I've done a lot of videos about larceny lately on YouTube, but this is the first topic I wrote down, and I'm going to cover every other one as well. So larceny, first of all, we've got nothing of any substantial value coming out of the crates anymore. I mean, you used to be able to sell the Mysterious Garden Powders for, on the Legacy, 6-7 gold. On the Fresh Start servers, 3-4 gold, 2 to 4 gold, depending on when. Now that is pretty much in the toilet across the board. And so you can't count on pretty much any value there. Oops, I didn't need to turn that back on. And I just hit skip. That didn't do it either. So the crates are pretty much worthless unless you happen to need one of the Lunafrost for another piece of gear. And what I'm doing, what I have been doing, and this is going to get into the thought process of larceny taking more labor. I said it kind of does, but it doesn't really. They did lower the labor to open specific coin purses, the Queens and the Ancestral, but they actually kind of increased the labor if you want to count the labor to obtain Lunarite, because basically now you have to spend 10 labor to identify your Lunarite, your random Lunarite pouch, and then you have to spend 10 more labor in the masonry profession to salvage said Lunafrost to generate Lunarite. So in a roundabout way, larceny is taking a little bit more labor in that fashion.
I mean, they did give more gold income or silver income into the coin purses, right? I don't know if the values are like, 10 silver per labor, but
no,
at least a little bit closer, it's maybe better.
Yeah, and I've got a spreadsheet for that. Let me see here. I want to save this. Let me just save this real quick. This is the larceny. This is those 100 crates I did. I'll post this up on something somewhere. Get this information out. Maybe even put a link to it on YouTube. Let me switch over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. These are the silver crates I opened. Here's the old one, or I'm sorry, here's the old ones on the left, and here's the new ones on the right. Opened 100 of each. Out of the new ones, I got basically 1,800 gold, and out of the old silver crates, I got 4,200 gold for 100 of them. Yeah, big difference. Anyway, let me save this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is exactly what I was looking at too. Put out these charts. This one, and also you put out the coin purse one too, right?
Yeah, I've got it here. Let me close this out, bring this over. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. Everybody in the stream, on the left-hand side, this is the old... let me see if I can just make this bigger.
I don't know, I was pretty happy with this. I mean, it's a pretty significant increase. But, that's for me, who doesn't really need that much gold, I guess. So that's a little different, I guess.
So what we have on the left-hand side is the silver to labor ratio before this July update, which the Jester purse was about 12 and a half silver per purse. It's still 12 and a half silver per purse, so there wasn't much change with the Jesters. The silver to labor ratio at max proficiency is 4 silver, 4.2 silver. That's basically no change on the Jesters. However, once you get to the Prince purses, we went from what used to be at max proficiency 4.5 silver to now 7 silver per labor point for the Prince coin purses. We've seen similar increases in the Queen's purse. It was 5.5 silver. Now we're up to 7.4 silver. And then finally with the Ancestral coin purses, which is only available to those that are on the Legacy servers, you went from 6.5 silver, which wasn't horrible. Wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible, to 7.6 silver. So just slightly better than the Queen's purses. And those are the numbers from the July update.
By the way, also just to keep in mind, for anybody looking at these numbers, that silver per labor should be gold for labor. So don't get so scared that you get 0.04 silver per labor. It's actually 0.04 gold.
Yeah, that's a good. It's just the way you have to kind of write this stuff in the spreadsheets. And I know it's confusing as well to those that play on the EU server where you use where we use a comma, like 100,000, it would be 100, comma 000. You guys would use a decimal, and so when you look at this, it's not natural. I've had people even ask me, "Can you switch it?" Like, well, can't you? Can't you?
Yeah, true.
All you have to do is change the formatting. But yes, I'll help you out there. All right. So that's all I wanted to say about Larceny. It looks like the coin purses, like people ask me what I'm doing. I'm still doing Larceny because I just have to do it because I'm working on Hiram gear. And because I'm doing that, I do open my coin purses. Why not? I mean, it's not horrible for the Fresh Start servers. Maybe not that great for the Legacy, but it just depends on how you make your gold and what you do. Okay, so did you have any other thoughts on Larceny, GamePro?
With regards to the gold income stuff?
Anything, because I'm going to move on.
Oh man, I've got tons of thoughts on everything, but go on.
Well, any more thoughts on Larceny that we didn't talk about?
Okay, nah.
Okay.
You can move on.
All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the trade pack changes. And under this umbrella, what I'm talking about is this changes to gold acquisition. And I'm going to wrap it up in a nice little pincher for you all at the end of this segment. But I want to talk about the trade pack changes in what is happening to how much gold you can earn and how much labor they cost, yada, yada, yada. So basically what's happened with the trade pack changes is they increase the process materials. So you can look at any trade pack, which I'm going to do in game here. Let's just look at Villanelle. All right, so what they've done is like, so for the Villanelle Gilda pack, now I think it was 80 dried flowers, now it's 150. But they've lowered the raw material, whether that be wool or cherries. It used to be, what, 5 or 8. And they've lowered the raw materials, but they've increased the processed material, which, as I said in the first hour of the stream, is an artificial way for them to make the same system cost you more labor. Additionally, with the trade packs, is they now have zones, which is actually, it's not a new concept, but the zones are basically the closer you are to the port, like Silent Forest, Villanelle, Mahadavi, Solus, and Yenistir, because you're relatively close to the other ports, which are in Villanelle, Yenistir for the east side. Your packs have a freshness timer that goes down very, very quickly, so you have to toot sweet get to the trader of choice and get those packs turned in if you want that freshness bonus, which can be up to 15%. So my thoughts on this was to take advantage of that, you can actually start to make a little bit more gold per silver or silver per labor ratio. You can actually earn more if you can manage to get there on the freshness bonus. But how do you do that? And the only logical thing that I could come up with is you can't sit there and craft 8 packs or 16 packs like if you're doing a follow on an alt. You pretty much got to craft like 4 packs and maybe 5 for one on your back, get in a car and go. Then you can definitely take advantage of these freshness bonuses, which is kind of a hard change to those that have invested so much into these haulers. What say you?
Well, I don't know anything about trade runs, but I can at least say this. First of all, has there been any like calculators that were updated with all the new gold things, with the new gold prices and everything?
I've seen a couple people post the new ratios, but what I did not see, I haven't found one that I just said, oh my god, this is amazing, because what they didn't do is they didn't say if they're playing on what server they're playing on. And that does matter because the price of different things, there's different values given to charcoal and raw materials as well as processed materials, depending on where you play. So without that information, I couldn't endorse anything that I've seen just yet.
Oh, shoot, saying that Niver posted an updated sheet. Those kind of sheets help in general, but again, I think it just comes back down to they want to standardize how much silver per labor you get for safe runs, for risky runs. They want to make it so that you can choose to do anything you want in the game, and it's more or less just as good as if you chose to do something else. So you kind of get to pick whatever you want to do for fun. You can go fishing, you get the same amount as if you did trade runs. If you like trade runs, you do them. If you like fishing, you do that. I think that's their goal. Maybe it works better in Russia and Korea because most people are in the same time zones, so contesting is generally happening all at the same time. North America, Europe, it's a little bit different since people play in every time zone, but that's my guess as to what's going on.
That's a good point. Alarusix Era, do you think that larders should be exempt from the timer that's been implemented, especially since the frames cost more now? I absolutely agree with that statement. What I've seen so far, the larders are pretty horrible, except for one of them. I can't remember if it was the cheese or the other one, not the salve, the other one, the honey. The honey or the cheese, one of those two was okay, but I do agree they've increased the mats. They've also, the way that those are done, they don't make sense to have the freshness timer, but that's my opinion.
I didn't even think about that. Guys, that's a really, really good point. Please go make a forum post about it, because for us, that's a big deal. This is actually really big. I didn't think about that.
Shoot. I'm just trying to catch up on chat. Shoot who, close packs are great for people with cars. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Niver did an updated spreadsheet. Sweetheart, thank you for making it in. Glad to have you. Thank you, and welcome, Sweetheart. Okay, I think we're getting pretty much caught up. Okay, all right. So yes, as GamePro was saying, anything like that, I mean, I will lend my support to any good idea out there. Even though I'm not a big trade pack runner, I do not like some of the changes that's going on. But I think it may be part of the bigger picture, and I think GamePro is kind of onto it there, where they basically want to normalize whatever you do to make it even. And if you have a little bit more risk, maybe you can earn a little bit more. The thing about that, though, is that doesn't really work too well on dead servers. Because basically you can do whatever you want, and no one's going to bother you. Shivan Rogue, thank you very much for the 40 bits. I see it. I don't know if it popped up, but thank you very much. I saw it, Shivan Rogue. I do appreciate it. You guys have been supporting my balls off today. It's been crazy.
Sorry?
Yes.
Sorry, what are they doing to your... Never mind.
They're supporting it, just like a good pair of briefs.
Wow, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Okay.
Like a good banana hammock. Thank you very much.
Right, okay.
Shivan Rogue. All right, so... Brass Dwarf, I played AAs through Alpha, yeah. But I honestly think it's a better game now, having dived into it headfirst for the 2 weeks. We do love good, rational feedback. I click it up and I'll send it to XL weekly. Yeah, that's something that Muzzy used to do as well. It's great. What I would like to see, and this is not me being, I don't know a good word for it, bitchy or dicky, whatever you want to call it. I'm not trying to be that. What I would think that as a community we would like to see is what they say about that. Like when you say, hey, everybody hates this system, this is what they're saying, here's some points, this is the points that we're seeing, and then they say what do they say? We never really get that, right? I would love to see that kind of commentary. But, you know, you can put it on Aird's wish list, if you will.
Yeah, I think in general, you know, even at one point, I remember Trion was saying that they really hope to get, like, development blogs going and a little bit more interaction with devs. It's obviously not easy to do that for any company, especially, you know, ones that are across on the other side of the world.
And as you hear those buttons being pushed, you can rest assured that GamePro is probably in an arena right now.
No. I'm on my Warburn, dude. I'm leveling up, man. I gotta get to 50.
Gotcha.
It's a freaking process.
Gotcha. All right, so I think we're done with trade packs. That's all I really want to say. I do think, like, if I was starting out and I had to make a decision, do I want to make a car or make a hauler? With the way the trade packs are right now, I'd say car. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about is fishing changes. Now, I only... okay, so I covered in a video on YouTube, I covered ice fishing, nothing new there. I covered bait fishing, nothing new there. And then I covered, aside from the fishing pole, and then I covered big belly fishing or advanced fishing, which is done in the Sun Spec Sea, which is around Friedrich Isle. That gives you the big belly fish, which you can open, and everything is exactly the same as it was before, same drops. You can rarely get the treasure maps, arcane or better, which can lead you to treasure chests that you dig up for... arcane or better. Sometimes we'll have the tier 2 lunarite, which if you get fire, as we shown earlier, is like 95 gold each. So those could be good. And then Book of Aurorias used to be pretty good, but now that everybody's farming Hiram, they're also getting those haunted chests, which if they decide to open them up, can drop the Book of Aurorias. So it's kind of tanked those a little bit. All in all, though, you'd mostly do those for the lunarite, and if you're on the Fresh Start servers, the Archaeum, specifically the Starlight Archaeum, and actually the Legacy server for that matter, but we'll talk more about Archaeum in a bit. So as far as fishing changes go, the big thing, people are, at least what I'm seeing, people aren't very happy about the changes to sports fishing. They're citing reduced value of fish with increased labor cost. Any of you out there in chat do sports fishing and would like to say something on that, I'm looking for a chat about sports fishing, specifically if you've done it before and after this July update. What are you seeing? You tell me.
Yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to get back to those days, like, you know, 3 years ago with, like, the raids of people going out and fishing.
Oh, man.
I love those days.
Some of those screenshots where you have, like, 30 boats parked on
just
one
rate of people comes in.
Yeah, it's just craziness, man. Craziness when raid versus raid PvP happened. You got a gaggle. I don't know if that's the right word. A gaggle of fishermen versus
never bad to use that word.
versus a full-born raid, and poor fishermen's got a fishing pole. Some of them got trade packs on their back. And, it's just a slaughter fest. It's extra chum.
It's fun. I mean, that's back then, obviously everybody's doing it because fishing was one of the most valuable ways to make money, and it was easy. But it's gonna take a lot to bring people back out in the ocean like that, which is kind of unfortunate. Plus, with how boats work now, and just you just run away, and it's very easy to run away. It's a very different game in that sense.
Shoot Who says, took some new guys out to do fishing, got a 9 gold and a 10 gold fish. And also, you got to consider that now there's labor to turn those in now, right? It used to be, what, 10 labor or something like that? Or was it 0 labor? Man, it's been a while since I turned in a fish. But anyway, that has been increased to at least costing you labor to turn it in now, if it didn't before, to like 20 labor. So you've also got that, Not to mention the labor you spend when you catch it. So in general, though, I do like the changes to the fishing pole constantly chasing. One of the things that I had to do is because my characters that I use for fishing in EU, I constantly had to, like, once every couple months, buy a frozen wave fishing rod, which was anywhere from 150 to like 250 gold, just depending on what patch we're talking about. And I continually had to buy that. And now I just basically craft my fishing rod and I'm done. I don't have to buy a single one ever again. So I do like that. And the lure change, I think the lures are generally decreased in cost. You just craft one lure. It takes iron, and iron is relatively inexpensive now that they changed mining. So that's good. I mean, the changes to that, the fishing pole and the lure is good. The changes to everything else besides sports fishing is non-existent, so it's the same as it always was. But the sports fishing is what people really kind of at least took to the forums, and I saw a bit about. Well, that's pretty much it. Am I seeing anything else on fishing? I'm scanning chat.
It is something interesting, something to point out too. Sports fishing doesn't exactly provide anything to the economy other than gold injection, right? It doesn't create any materials. It doesn't move anything around. So the fact that they made any changes to fishing at all is actually kind of impressive. It's been a long time since they've changed fishing, but it shows that even they're thinking about that. Just maybe for the option of it was fun and they want to bring it back. Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure how it works in Korea or Russia or how popular it is.
I also want to thank Brass again for hanging out. Brass is our everybody in chat that doesn't know, when you see Brass Dwarf, that is our community manager, intern. Is that the right word? Our
intern. It's not to be confused with a similar sounding word, intern. That's not. It's much different than that.
Our interim community manager, Brass, hanging out longer than I think I've had anybody from Trion hang out, so thank you very much. And so I didn't see anything else on fishing, so I'm just going to move on. Sunken ships. Woo! This is probably the most... if you want to go on with my theory how they're adding labor and reducing the amount of silver to labor ratio pretty much across the board, this is the most blatant attempt, which probably means it was the most unbalanced thing that there was, right? And I've actually saw some support of that idea on the thread or on the forums, where they basically said, yeah, I earned 45 or 50 silver per labor point. Now I'm earning 22. That's still pretty good, but you also got to remember that the Sunken ships is a PvP risk. It also has that risk involved with it. It's like running a trade pack through a war zone, except for you're on the ocean. And
you can lose everything. There's no 20% back.
Absolutely. So it should, in theory, be the highest silver to labor ratio. What I would be interested in is breaking it down and looking at it from different standpoints, not only to a max, like if you have a maxed exploration proficiency. I want to look at it like I don't own a sub, so should I buy a sub? I want to look at it. I just have barely enough proficiency to open up the shiny packs. Should I just do shiny packs? Like if I get a boat that has no shiny packs, do I just go get a different boat? Those are the kind of things that I want to explore. It's probably due to the overall increased labor and cost to raise a ship. It may be a thing where people don't just abandon a boat. They have to take what's on it because, you know, they've got so much labor and materials invested to raising it. They pretty much got to get it. But basically what happened with the Sunken ships, for those not in the know, for those who've never done one, they basically doubled the labor cost across the board. That's the best way to say it, and they even said it. When SOC was going over the changes with the Sunken ships, it was basically, we doubled this, we doubled that, we doubled this. So yeah, that's what's going on with the Sunken ships, but in the end, it is a nerf to it, but considering that what else has happened to everything else, Sunken ships is probably not a bad thing to do. And I would maybe I'll do a video on that. Depends on what everybody votes on in the poll. So I'll take this opportunity to remind you there is a new poll this week. In the lower right hand corner of your screen, click on that little icon. It'll bring up some options, and there's a current poll which you can vote on. I don't have everything that you can do to make money in Archeage in that poll, but if you do one of those things, just vote. Let me know what you're doing. And that will be the next topic that I cover, hopefully, for YouTube, and get the word out. And maybe more people will enjoy the game just like you do. Okay, so that's all I got to say about Sunken ships. GamePro, did you have any direct knowledge with Sunken ships? Want to say anything about it?
It was crazy. People know it. Obviously, it sucks to lose a really, really good income supply, but just keep in mind that the whole point is to create a more fun atmosphere. And just keep in mind that we were in an atmosphere where on a lot of servers that were pretty much free farm, you know, a lot less people to contest, people were just doing these constantly without anybody interrupting it. So yeah, you don't get that anymore. I don't feel bad about it, but you know, you should kind of expect that if something seems overpowered, it might get nerfed soon, and come up with some backup plan for the future beforehand.
Yeah, be adaptable. I mean, I think that's kind of one of the things that we're missing in many of the games that we play today. Is some of the games don't do a good job. They kind of pigeonhole you into a certain thing, and then you're kind of stuck. I don't want to name any names, but Fortnite rings a bell. We're not Battle Royale Fortnite, but the other Fortnite that nobody plays. What they did with their weapon systems, it's horrible. Like, if you upgrade a weapon, you can't craft the lower tiers. And if you don't have the mats to craft the higher weapon, you're SOL. So games can pigeonhole you. But the thing about MMORPGs in general is they always change. I've never played a game where the same thing that happened at the launch of the game is the same thing that was going on, you know, a couple years into it. There's no game out there that I can think of, and I played quite a few of them, that was the case. It's all about adapting and changing, and Archeage is forgiving in that they allow you to have alts. I mean, most people use alts as money makers, but if you want to do another profession, there's nothing stopping you from making another alt or even another character on the same account, except for Fresh Start, and just trying out a new profession or something. I mean, it's all up to you. It's be adaptive. I mean, I have 3 accounts, and I kind of did this to myself because I was a hardcore handicrafter. On all 3 accounts, they're nearly max. 1 is not maxed. Handicrafter, but I mean, that's on me. But I've also done construction, mining, fishing, high tailoring and high carpentry and high weaponry. These are on my other accounts, so I'm ready to adapt. I'm ready to adapt, and as you guys know, as of earlier, I was talking about how I started working on my exploration, because I actually don't think sunken ships are all that bad. I'll be happy with 22 silver per labor point. That's about what I earned for crafting when I got lucky, when I could finally sell something, which I'm going to talk about crafting next. But yeah, I mean, I'll be happy taking 22 silver per labor point any day, because I could go out and do 1 boat, and you know, if I'm busy playing on the Fresh Start server or making a video or doing whatever, and I don't have a lot of time, I can go out, raise 1 boat, and I got today's labor done, and I earned a pretty fair, decent amount. That's all I got on sunken ships.
Yeah, as long as you're having fun doing something, then that's the important part. I really would like to see a game where if you like doing sunken ships and you know, you just go and do it, you still earn as much as somebody who likes to go do trade runs or somebody who likes to go and kill mobs and grind mobs. I'd be fine with that, because at least people get to play the game that they want. Now, that might mean that things like trade runs get done less, and XL themselves have kind of said, we know that you guys find this gameplay boring, doing trade runs all day. But, you know, they're mostly talking to the Korean, Russia audience as well, since those guys are generally in the same time zone with each other.
Yeah.
So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so we're going to move on. This is the last topic that I want to talk about in the gold acquisition. And we got 7.5 minutes to cover this. And, okay, so the next thing is crafting. I just mentioned it. I've been a handicrafter since launch, and I've had the hardest time in the world selling anything that I can make in handicraft. Mostly because jewelry is like, I don't...
People use jewelry? People buy crafted jewelry? That's the thing? I guess, yeah, that's it. Yeah, they just get it one time and they're done.
Yeah, it's, and
I'm
not only...
for Hiram jewelry.
Oh, God. That would just ruin the whole profession.
That would ruin, yeah.
But the problem is like with the Aeronor systems, like no one's going to work on an Aeronor jewelry unless you're crazy, or unless it's the last thing that you need. So the handicrafting has always had its ups and downs. But crafting, I want to talk about crafting in general. What about armor and weapons? So what we have is the material demand, like at least the garden powder's way down. And also, I could not believe this. The other day I was on the Ezzy server doing my mining on my EU alt, and I looked at the value of Archaeum ore. I had assumed that on the Fresh Start servers, Archaeum ore would be very expensive. It's not the case. It's like 33 silver or something like that for an Archaeum ore. That's crazy. It should, like, what is it now on?
Didn't they recently, by the way, just reduce the Archaeum income from trees? I'm probably wrong on that, but if somebody knows, I think they did in like a recent patch.
Yeah, the Archaeum from trees and braziers. I'm talking about the Archaeum ore from mining.
Oh, the Archaeum ore. That's totally different. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So the Archaeum ore is way down. That's used mainly to craft weapons. You need like 80 something pieces to craft an ionad. 80 something pieces to craft the ingots. You need like, so it's like you need like 240 ores. So if you look on the Legacy, this is why it blew my mind. It was because on the Legacy, I think this is actually down too. Yeah, so like a couple weeks ago, it was like 3 gold per ore, so 9 gold per ingot. Now it's down 2.5 gold. But on the Ezi server, I would have thought it would be more higher because of the Delphinod. But I guess like on like the EU region, they just don't spend money the way the North America region does, right? I guess. I mean, everything's always different over there. It's crazy. But that's just anyway. The Garden Powder's down. The Archaeum ore is down. And then I want to talk about the Archaeum. The Archaeum, Sunlight, Moonlight, Starlight. So the production of that is also down, and that is something that GamePro just mentioned. I saw a post on this, which I don't do the trees or braziers, and I'm going to be looking at chat here. Oh, they said that it's 5 gold in North America, but it's only 33 silver in EU. Isn't that crazy? That just shows a difference in the what people are doing. It's like North America, people have too much money and they're just like throwing it at the game, whereas the European guys, they're like, Well,
keep in mind also that more people are probably using alt on EU because of the North Americans with an EU alt than the opposite.
It's 7 gold on Ezi today? Really? I just sold, like I had like 60 pieces and I had to take garbage for it. Wow. They're saying it's 7 gold on Ezi. Okay,
One
maybe.
more thing to keep in mind also with the Archaeum ore specifically. On Legacy servers, people are trying to raise dragons, and that's something you need for dragons. And that's probably the bigger demand and supply at the moment.
That's a good point. Okay, so let's just move on to the Archaeum crystals. Thank you all for that. Anybody out there that does the trees or trees specifically, since we're talking about Archaeum, I saw a post on the official forums that said that the amount of Archaeum dropping off the trees, whether it's shards, dust, scammed. You say that got scammed. Probably. We all fall for it. But no, there's like 10 listings, so I don't know what was going on. But anyway, maybe I was looking at silver and thinking I was looking at Archaeum. That could be it. But anyway, anybody that does the trees or braziers, have you guys noticed that the Archaeum, the amount of Archaeum you're getting off of those units have been decreased?
Yeah, Shoot posted in chat that trees are now dust and essence. The shards and crystals are really rare.
But the trees can go Thunderstruck now. Well, that's not that big of a deal, right? What is a Thunderstruck log? 75 gold?
Yeah, I guess, since the demand for that's down as well.
Yeah, so right now, like, if you're on the Legacy server and you got a Starlight Essence tree, I don't know how many you get per tree, but those are like 28 gold, so that'd be the tree to get. Everything else is in the toilet. I mean, Moonlight, Sunlight. This is North America Legacy Thunderwing. It's completely different on the Fresh Start servers. Yeah, like a Moonlight Essence is 5 gold. Essence. Starlight is 4 gold. I mean, that's in the toilet. But then you take Starlight, it's like 30 gold. And jewelry is garbage. You can't make any money on it. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy what's going on in crafting. And I saw somebody mention in chat, let me see if I can find it again. It was My Amaze. The tree drop is sad. I think we just had a glut of trees and braziers before, like 90. All I did with my trees and braziers is sold them to the general vendor. I don't know about everybody else, but I didn't dick with trying to make 1 extra silver per. You know, I could get 51 silver if I list them on the auction house. I ain't gonna mess with that. I'm just gonna sell it to the general vendor. You know. And we got raffles coming up here in 30 seconds, but before that happens, I want to mention this. I also want to make everybody aware that about a year and a half ago. I don't remember which version of Archeage it was.
That's some spicy meatball.
I don't remember which version of Archeage it was, but what happened there, they changed the way that the Archaeum dropped. Maybe this could have even been 2 years ago. They changed the way the Archaeum dropped in ratios. So it used to be pretty even, like sun, moon, and starlight. It used to drop like 33% of the time for everything. At some point, we had way too much starlight dust, but nowhere near enough sunlight and moonlight. So Trion petitioned XL, and we got the change. And the change, I believe, I didn't look up the post, but I'm going off of memory. The change was 50% of everything that happens is supposed to be sunlight. The other 30% is moonlight, and now 20% is starlight. And we've had that in the game for at least a year and a half or 2 years, and that has served us well until these changes. Now, I think it would be kind of prudent to change it back to where you get 30, 30, 30. I don't know. That's all I got to say on the Archaeum.
Oh, I have no idea about the math there. I don't want to say anything, so I'm scared.
All right, guys, that sound means it is time for a raffle, and we're going to go ahead and do a raffle. Do a raffle for a Vero skin, and we're also going to be doing a raffle for an Apex, courtesy of your support. I don't know any other way to say it. It is coming out of my pocket, but you guys make those kind of things possible here in the stream every week, so thank you very much. Big shout outs to everybody that supported me today. I think it's already like four subscribers and countless amounts of bits, so thank you very much for all that. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's do it. All right, we're going to do 2 raffles here. The first one is going to be for the Vero weapon skin. Let me get over to that tab. And we'll get you all in here. The Vero weapon skin is a code. Where is my OBS? You know the OBS studio button and the Archeage icon look almost identical. They're both black and gray.
Oh, okay. You don't use Streamlabs?
I tried it. I don't know. I don't know. It's not that I hate it. It's just that I didn't. When I tried it, I didn't have enough time to figure it out. But I didn't give it enough chance yet.
With 3 monitors myself, it's just nice to have everything in one spot. But I tend to agree. Anyways, more important stuff to talk about.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do the raffles. The first raffle is going to be for a Vero weapon skin, and if you're a normal person in my channel, you already know the keyword. All right, so basically what we talked about in this second hour, and GamePro is still hanging in here with me, are you not?
Hello.
I really do appreciate you put in this overtime, this extra hour. He was only slated to join me.
As long as I get paid overtime, man.
Yeah,
Right.
We'll throw you some bits. We'll throw you some bits.
Get out of here. I'm kidding. Don't do that.
Anyway, he stuck around. He was only slated to join me for 30 minutes, and he stuck around for about an hour and 20 so far. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much, GamePro. I wanted to wrap up, before you go, I wanted to wrap up what we were talking about in the last hour, which was changes to gold acquisition. And I said I actually had a larger point, and I think I've already hinted at it. But basically what they're doing, if you guys haven't really formulated it yet in your mind, is what they really are trying to do is if they lower the gold acquisition across the board, and as GamePro said, and do it to where like every profession pays the same, and then you just pick which one you like to do. It does make some bit of sense, but that is also kind of cookie cutter-esque. So it's not exactly that same way, but they did, from what I'm seeing, with a few exceptions here and there. The amount of gold that you can earn from pretty much about anything that you would normally do Archeage mechanic-wise has been reduced, and labor cost has increased. What that means is they are taking a shot at inflation and trying to introduce a little bit of deflation.
Weekly donation time.
Sweetheart, thank you very much for the 101 bits. That's 101 bits. That's enough to get an auto read. So thank you very much, Sweetheart. What is that? PJ Salt 101? Oh, that's the icon. Got it. Weekly donation time. Thank you very much, Sweetheart. So all in all, what is... Thank you, Sweetheart. I don't want to sound like I cut that short, but thank you, thank you, thank you. In my mind is very scattered because I talk about something and then I get sidetracked and then I have to go back and talk about what I was talking about.
Being a streamer is fun, man.
Yeah, it's crazy hard. I don't know who I was telling this to. Maybe it was you, GamePro. Is that, like, talking for 3 hours is not an easy thing to do.
It needs lots of water.
It needs lots of water. Yeah, I've been out.
You chugging water?
I've been out since hour 1, and I haven't taken a break. I usually take a break. But we're moving right along. So anyway, I wanted to wrap up this whole thing and say basically they've done this thing where it's universally less gold, more labor across the board. Those that are going to benefit are mostly those people that had a lot of gold to begin with. Those that are going to least benefit from this is nobody. I mean, if you're on the Fresh Start server and you had a bit of gold saved up, all right, good on you. But as new players come in, everybody is feeling the same thing. So my thoughts on this whole thing is does it really matter? Does it really matter if they've nerfed Larceny? Does it really matter if they nerfed Sunken ships or trade packs or anything if they do it across the board? And almost, save for a few exceptions, they have.
Yes.
Oh, that's Cyan. Oh, thank you, Mathera. Cyan. I just saw that. Why is that name sounding familiar to me right now? Did I get a Discord? I can't remember what happened. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Cyan, if you're in Discord, just make sure you whisper me as well. That would work. Arid, talking for 1 more hour is rough. My tester proved that. Yeah, Jen, you gotta keep it going. You gotta keep it going, man. This is about the time. This is the 3rd hour of the stream, and this is the time when most people... By the way, if you're still here and you're not participating in chat, I do appreciate you just hanging out. Man,
shout out to the lurkers, man.
Shout out to the lurkers. Thank you. Thank you very much for just hanging out and being there. What I call radio mode is this is the time when that usually happens. People put me on radio mode and listen to me while they do their... not quite yet. Actually, this hour would normally be the server reset time, but the server reset, because I started streaming an hour early. But anyway, my 3rd hour is usually radio mode hour, in which case everybody just says, hey, I got to go do things in game. Thanks for the stream, Arid. I'll be back at Raffle time. So, anyway.
That's the best time to put up key codes right on the screen, right?
Right.
Without saying anything.
Accidentally just flash one.
Right, exactly.
Oh, maybe that's a good thing to do with that banner.
No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. That's a scary thing. Man, don't do that. It's scary.
No, it's just
crazy about it.
First person to get it, then that's the way it works. That's what Master Doom does with his. He doles them out in his Discord. He's got a channel called Stream Giveaways, and then he'll dole them out, like 3, then he'll dole out another 3, and then...
I get that.
Yeah.
It's just stressful, man. I get stressed.
Why is that?
It's scary to me. Because I gotta get this thing, man, before anybody else. Sitting there typing with like 45 monitors going, and you're trying to copy and paste things, maybe copy the image and paste it into an image to text thing. Man, I've done some crazy things for keys in the past, trust me. It's stressful. I've won, too. Man, I'm good at it.
I liked how 7 Days to Die, they threw their they did a video about, it was Alpha 17, and whoever decorated one of the places they were showing off wrote the key codes for 7 Days to Die in the video. And so as he was going through this house showing off, there were just key codes written on the wall, like graffiti. It was crazy.
Yep. And then everybody has to try every single one of those key codes.
Because you never know.
Yeah, you never know. That's what stresses me out. Oh, God.
And the other thing they didn't do is they didn't say this is good for 10 uses or 1 use. They didn't say any of that. So you didn't know.
It's just graffiti on the wall.
Oh, Cyan from my guild. That's why. Duh. Oh my God, this brain, man. It's crazy. You know, I was saying this, I kind of alluded to this in Reddit, is like as there are less and less creators for the Trion, well, for Archeage, I don't want to say Trion Worlds, because who knows what's happening with other games. But as there are less and less creators for this game, then people just gravitate towards creators that they like myself, or GamePro, and then I've just noticed, even though I would say there's less people playing the game, but the questions and the amount of information that people are seeking right now is greater than ever. Have you noticed that as well?
Well, Fresh Start brought a lot of people back, right? So that's good.
Yeah, but there was...
especially with the new races that came out a couple weeks ago.
Well, the way I'm looking at it is like, so the videos I used to do for YouTube, like for the Fresh Start videos, when I was doing those, like 8,000 views, 6,000 views, right?
Oh, wow.
And then you do a video about something like gliders or Hiram gear, and then like after like months, it's like 2,000 views. Mm-hmm. So it just seems like there's less people playing, and I'm speaking from, you know, even from the Fresh Start period, it's just like, those people are just looking for somebody to give them information. And I just want to say it again, if you want to be a Trion creator, the need is out there. If you guys are thinking about it, just absolutely do it.
Totally encourage people to go stream stuff, even just stream arenas, because you can do that infinitely now. You know, get your friends involved, do YouTube things. If you do YouTube things, can you just zoom in a little bit more? Thanks. Anyways, that kind of stuff is all really good, but it's kind of under, you know, it's done a lot more in Russia and Korea, since they've got like so many people coming out to all these events every day. But you know, the more it happens, the more people actually come out to events too, and it helps. Yeah,
it is awesome. So if you guys would like to be a Trion creator, remember, you know, this is a lesson that everybody learns. Unless you're already a celebrity, you're going to start off low. You know, you're going to have 2 or 3 people just hanging out, and as you keep on keeping on, you're going to build your community, and it won't take long to get creator status. And as you have giveaways, and I'll be more than happy to prompt any of you guys like that are doing any type of creators for Archeage. Absolutely. Okay, so I think we pretty much wrapped up this whole gold acquisition and all the sub tiers of that. I don't really have anything else to say about that. Do you, GamePro, at all?
I mean, you could talk about it endlessly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could also repeat myself endlessly.
We could, yeah, we could just keep talking about the same things over and over. No, I think we can move on if you got other things you want to talk about.
Oh, Kriya, thank you for... Kriya, were you there for that stream? Oh, wow. I'm probably have already asked you that before.
Did you do a stream planting potatoes? Like, is that real?
That is real.
Well, I've always wanted to do that.
I planted 5,000 potatoes one day.
Wow.
On a 16X property. I think it was on EU.
Okay.
And I was just standing there planting potatoes all day. The stream lasted almost 14 hours to plant and harvest 5,000 potatoes. So,
wow. And you did it?
I did it. And man, wow. I got some royal seeds. It worked out pretty good, but it was not worth it in the time.
Yeah.
The time that it took me to plant those potatoes and harvest them, not worth it. But yeah, a 13.5 or 14-hour stream, purely planting potatoes. I had people wake up and say, "Oh, you're streaming. Hey, how you doing? What are you doing? You're planting potatoes. What the hell?" Yep, planting potatoes. They go to work. Wow. They come home. You're still here? Yep, still here. Those kind of streams.
Well, I'll give you that. I didn't even know you did that. Jeez, is that not on YouTube? That should be on YouTube.
That was, God, it was like a year and a half ago. It was such a long time ago. And who would watch a 13? No one would watch that. No one. And I talked for the 13 hours though. That was the craziness.
Yeah, okay, then that's good. It's just radio mode the whole time.
A 13-hour potato planting stream. Maybe we could do a charity drive or something to get something like that going.
You want to do a joint charity drive and we both plant potatoes? Wait, we can make PvP out of this. Hold on, I can come up with a way.
All right. Well, while you think about that, I'm going to pick another topic here. This is actually I don't know if I want to go into this right now. Well, let me see what I've got left here. I've got Hiram versus Crafted Gear. The big announcement coming from Jake Song soon in Korea. Hashtag rumor.
Where'd you get that? Where'd you get this? I
actually tried to look it up and I can't. I could have sworn I saw it on. I thought Mark said something about this. Omnom.
Well, it's Korea, so generally the way it works there is whenever they say we'll announce something soon, it's out in like 2 days. They announce things pretty quickly there, so hopefully sometime soon.
Arid, with the update to planting, that type of stream would work. Oh, it would be much easier to plant, but I wouldn't do potato streams now because of royal seeds. I mean, the reason I did it was for royal seeds. I think I got like 260 or maybe it was 360 out of 5,000. Something like that. But it was all about the royal seeds, man. That was right when they changed the larders to requiring royal seeds and people were going nuts. But anyway, so there was, well, I guess we don't even need to talk about that section because rumor of a big announcement coming from Jake Song in Korea. That's why I'm calling it a rumor, because I can't remember who said it and exactly what was said, but that's in my mind. And it could be like a Mandela effect thing where I thought I heard that and we shifted timelines and that's not a thing anymore. But for whatever reason, that's still stuck in my head, man. So
wait, is Mark still here? Mark, are you here? Is he here?
I haven't seen him.
Moby's still here. Hey, Moby. How's it going?
Is Moby here?
I think so. He's in the chat. Not Mark. You would know for sure.
Moby?
No, Mark.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to... We'll come back. We'll circle back to that topic. Maybe I can find Mark in Discord.
Where does this rumor mill start?
Yeah. I don't know if he's still... He could be on radio mode. Could be in the bathroom for all I know. But anyway, so there's other things, changes coming to Korea, stuff that we can confirm that's been posted on Omnom that is coming to Korea. Again, just because it's coming to Korea does not necessarily mean that it's going to come to our game, but usually some version of it does. So there's a whole list of that I got to talk about. So that's really the two topics I have left. Hiram versus Crafted Gear, and then all the changes that Mark posted on 5.0, I guess. Changes coming to Korea, like the pirate changes, Ionad library weapons and gear, SERP changes, drill camp coming back. You might like that subject. Some kind of new food that increases loot drop.
Might like that stuff. Eric, they're putting out a 10v10 arena. You think I just might like that?
The problem with the arenas is people got to join them.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. I agree.
It's kind of like...
Hey, if there's a good enough reward, maybe.
Yeah, Curios badges. Is that good enough? I don't know. It's not enough to get people to do naval. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I don't know.
You know, I said it before. I'd like to see stuff, and I guess it is there kind of now, but I'd like to see specific weapons and armor that is only, well, that has most of its benefit for PvP, or maybe just for arenas. And that's it. But you can earn it via arenas, so you could just basically crawl into a little arena hole and do arenas all day, wink wink, and earn a set of gear that is amazing for arenas. And perhaps,
would you do it?
Would I do it? No.
I would
have to get good. I would have to actually get good at PvP, and then
practice.
I would have to overcome my total disdain for killing other people.
Oh yeah, dude, I hate killing people. It's weird. It's a weird feeling, especially on stream. Ugh. Is that weird to say when I like PvP? I guess it's weird.
Let's see. Just VelQ, how you doing? Just to people wondering why Songcraft is OP, Justin, keep in mind the main dev is Jake Song. Good joke. Got it. Jake Song is meeting 12 players on August 10th. That's by Okiwan. I mean, I got the joke right away. I don't know what... No one else is... Well, there's TMZ left. Jake Songcraft... Okay. No one gets it. No one gets it. Okay.
Nope. I don't know what's happening.
Arenas not killing people.
So that's what people are saying the rumor mill is about, that he's going to announce something big to 12 people?
Jake's, I don't know that is it, but it wasn't specifically said that way.
Okay, well, whatever. We'll see, I guess.
You know, what I heard was big announcement. And so what does big announcement mean to anybody? Well, it means whatever you want it to mean, honestly. A big announcement to me, like the perfect big announcement, we're removing Apex, we're removing RNG boxes, we're removing...
Whoa, don't say these words, because they might happen someday. Don't jinx it.
The very act of saying it, actually,
right.
The thought has to precede the action, so I'm putting the thought out there now.
Okay.
But if they removed all the pay to win, or not, I don't want to say pay to win, because pay to progress, pay for power, pay for whatever type mechanics, and left it to completely cosmetics. That to me would be a big announcement. But that doesn't necessarily mean that a big announcement could be that they're going to have a 20 versus 20 arena. That could be a big announcement to some people.
Yeah.
It could be that they're going to...
I actually have a pretty good guess, just given the
all right, let's hear it.
Patches and everything. Okay, so this is it. You heard it from me first, guys. Okay, is everybody ready? Okay. Okay, I'm glad you're ready now. Okay, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna continue progressing the story in a way where it will actually force people to start playing together more in a PvE allied aspect. So that is like, hey guys, now you have to team up to fight this world boss. Kind of like what Kadum is, but a bit more teamwork based, because it does feel like they're pushing people into that direction. That's my guess. And if anything, it would be around the garden, and for those who know the lure stuff, probably fighting Kyrios and then fighting Anfla, and Kyrios helps you fight the Akash and all this good stuff. That's what I think. I think they're really going to be progressing and pushing the storyline.
Well, but is that a big announcement? I mean,
nope.
They shouldn't be...
not in the slightest. I just think that's... I think it's what's coming pretty soon. That's what I think.
Should they not be doing that anyway? I mean, it is a progressive game, and it should continue to progress.
I don't think they're going to do an Archeage 2 or something. That's what a big announcement is in America.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that would be another big announcement, Archeage 2. Or, like I said, a complete redo of how they market the game. That would be a big deal. Or somehow all these different regions somehow can play on the same servers, instead of you got Trion, Male RU, and 10 in China, all these weird other companies, if they just had like Asia servers, European servers, and America, South America, North America servers, and there you go. Everybody plays on one server, and there's one client out there. That would be a big announcement.
Crazy. Nah, I don't know about that. Pipe dreams. It's all pipe dreams.
It's all pipe dreams. Those are big announcements.
Crazy. They are big announcements. That's more like an America thing, though. Like in North America, that would be a big announcement. Like that's if somebody says we have a big announcement, it'll be like 45 weeks, and then that'll happen. You know, like they'll talk about that.
Oh.
But in Korea, they say, oh, we have a big announcement. Like 3 days later, like this has changed labor. Like that's kind of how it feels. It is difference-wise, because North America is very much into, well, we're going to announce something coming up, and then like 3 weeks later they do it, and it's big, and all this. That's how I've seen it in gaming generally.
Bell Q says big announcement: AFK fishing is 10 silver per labor point from now on.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that would be a big announcement. That would just basically make everybody start fishing. I mean, why would you do anything else unless you really, really liked it?
Wait, is it not 10 silver per labor right now? Is it actually less?
It doesn't seem like it would. If you have to buy your bait worms, which, by the way, if you use bait worms, if you're doing bait fishing, it's garbage. At least the last time I looked at it, it was like you're losing money. And by the way, if you buy or make your own bait worms, it doesn't matter. Either way you do it, the very act of using a bait worm to fish, you are consuming that value. Therefore, you have lost that value. So you might as well buy it if you don't want to grow it.
I think it's mostly because it's done by EU alts or people from cross-region alts.
Yeah.
Cross-region alts, that's the terminology, right?
Yeah, cross-region alts. So anyway, that's let's move on from this rumor. And let's talk about some of the things that we do know that's coming to Korea. How about the pirate faction revamp?
Ooh, man, I'm a big fan of this, even though I won't participate in it. But I'm a big fan. They went back on this faction and actually did something with it, especially since it's a little bit less used in Korea and Russia.
And so those of you out there that don't know exactly what I'm talking about, here is the too long didn't read version of what's happening in Korea, not necessarily in America. In Korea, the pirate faction is going. By the way, I also need to mention this. If you're wondering what that other voice in the channel is, that is Gamepro03. Oh,
I thought there was a third one. I was gonna say, what's going on here?
Some people are just joining us, and I have not posted his link, but it is Twitch, GamePro, just as you would normally spell those two words, 03. That is his Twitch channel.
Yep. Yeah, you can pretty much find me on Twitch and YouTube, but I mostly stream and then put all the streams on my YouTube channel.
GamePro 03.
I would link it, but then I'd get banned, so...
Yeah, I just threw it out there for you. I really need to... I just have to, like... It's just not as easy as one would think, because I have a couple of issues going on. I've got Nightbot and Moobot, and I thought I kicked Moobot, but I don't know what's going on. I still see him rattling off in there. Or I thought I kicked Nightbot. I don't know. Anywho, so the pirate faction, they're going to be removing the punishments, aka crime points for... that's all I read, was removing punishments for doing things on the Nui or the Harani continents, which is kind of a big deal, man. No punishment, so like no jail time, I guess. I don't know exactly what that meant, but that's what it said.
Yeah, there's a couple things that are going on. Hold on, let me bring it back up so that I'm not misquoting what's going on. But there is a quest line to become a pirate, right? And they are essentially the people who are contesting everybody. They're essentially forced to contest everybody else, player nations, west and east. So they become like the actual bad guys because they're actually defending the Delphinid ghost ships. They're defending Morpheus for reasons that are actually existing. You know, this is why we're doing it. And that's good. I actually like that. I hope that people actually do it. Because it does give people who want to PvP something to do. Oh, I want to PvP. I don't want to free farm. I'm just going to go here. And all my friends here with me will go and contest the content that all these other people are doing. I think it makes sense. And maybe it makes more sense for Russia and Korea, but for us as well, if people actually do it.
Okay, so where I got this note from, again, this is from omnom.io. Shout out to Mark. Thank you very much for the hard work you do translating this stuff. God, that would be so frustrating to start doing. Like, if you think you could tackle being a creator, one thing I don't think you could tackle unless you had a firm grasp on the Korean language to begin with, especially if you don't know any of the Asian things, is just to try to translate some of this stuff. It would be bonkers.
Things. I'm very confused by that sentence, but sure.
Well, I mean, the Asian way of writing, you know, how the left to right, the Japanese up to down, or down to up to down, and the symbols. I mean, I don't know if those symbols... I don't know if a Korean symbol is the same as a Chinese symbol. I don't know. Like, is there any of those that are universal? Maybe the middle finger?
I don't know what's happening. Let's just keep going.
Anyway.
Let's move on.
Anyway, this is the statement where I got this removing punishments. This is the statement. Starting with removing punishments for pirates being on the 2 starter continents. So that's Nui and Harani. So there you go. So that is removing punishment. So I guess you don't go to jail. That's kind of neat. Additionally, let's see here. Additionally, I've got written down that you're not required, which GamePro already talked about, you're not required to gain 3,000 infamy. So you basically just go do a quest, and then you can become a pirate. And then the whole purpose, as GamePro also said, was they're working to implement siege functionality for pirates, and that the pirates are supposed to be the all-around contesters, and that they could possibly even be getting rewards for doing those type of activities. So if somebody is out there trying to do the Red Dragon and you're a pirate and you stop them, perhaps you get a reward for that. I don't know how they'd actually implement something like that, but...
Well, they already do it, actually. It's already in the game. So, player nations... Well, it doesn't matter, right? Any nation that takes the Red Dragon, it's their turn then to defend it afterwards, and if they defend it, they get a reward. And it's not the craziest reward in the world, but I think that they like those mechanics, and the mechanics now exist, and so they're going to take advantage of that and make it bigger and better, right?
But there's an inherent problem with that when it comes to player nations. The problem being is if you're in a player nation and you can do that content, just because you can't do it the next time, that was the first thing they did. So you get it you get it one day, and then you can't do it the next time it spawns. So what do? They go out and then they give them a reward for contesting it, which is what they would have done anyway if they could do it. So it's it's essentially
kind of people to get ults, right?
Well, yeah, exactly that, and that's what they do, and they'll tell you that that's what they do.
No, it's obvious, and no, it definitely works much better in Russia and Korea. I mean, I think we can see that all the time. Honestly, by the way, just FYI, if you want to go see what's going on in those regions, just go to YouTube, search Archeage, and sort by upload date. And man, you'll find tons of stuff daily of raid versus raid PvP coming out of those regions. So I'm not just pulling this out of nowhere. It's crazy over there.
Yeah. All right. So that's all I got on pirates. There was also, which I thought this was interesting, is that the Korea said something about an exit survey, and they said that like 20 or 30% of the people that stopped playing Archeage really liked the dungeons in Archeage, which as a PvE primarily player, I kind of felt like that was an odd statement to say, but again, we've got a translation from what they actually meant. The reason it struck me as odd is I do like the dungeons, but the amount of times that Archeage wants you to do the same dungeon is crazy, man. I don't remember any game I've ever played in my life that wanted me to do the same dungeon 100 times for one portion of one item. Now, I may have had to do the dungeon, like in World of Warcraft, you may have to do it a couple hundred times to get a couple pieces of armor to drop. But never have I had to like do Serp, or like, for example, Archeage terms, you have to do Serpentis 100 times for one portion of the Dream Ring, or that was the old system. And not to mention the times that you had already done it. So like by the time you got to that quest, you probably already done it 50 times. And then you get a quest that says you have to do it 100 more times. What I'm getting at here is that actually what they said was people leaving the game said they really liked the dungeon content, but the problem with Archeage is that there's just not enough dungeons. And so this comment or this change, they said that that they were going to be making some changes to the dungeons and how the Ionad library, that's the one they specifically called out, adding that gear, the Ionad library gear, which you can currently get a lot of times from the Heart of the Ionad dungeon, but it also very rarely drops off of the normal mobs in there. They said that they're going to make that gear more viable for tanks and healers. Interesting. And
it is interesting.
They also said that they're going to change Serpentis from a 10-man dungeon to a 5-man dungeon.
It is interesting.
I don't know the logic behind that unless they make it easier for, like, if the idea is because, I don't know, it's too hard for 10-mans on Fresh Start. I don't necessarily know that that's true. But if they actually just leave it the same and only let 5 people in it, oh my God, Fresh Start's going to hate that. As a Fresh Start player, I hate that. Because you need to gear up pretty good to do some of those dungeons as a 5-man crew. On a 10-man version, that is.
Yeah, but you know, at the same time, I kind of get it. It's PvE content, and you know this. The point of PvE content, you get together with friends, and you do it, you talk, you play the game, and you're social. And that's kind of the idea, right?
Right, that is the whole idea, but you don't want to be faced with an impossible challenge that you're required to do multiple times to achieve any progress.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the issue there in and of itself. But we don't know if the dungeon is going to get, the difficulty is going to get reduced for the 5-man or not. I mean, I've already seen videos where a guy solos the whole thing. So,
also keep in mind that those quests have changed. Now it's like a maintenance thing you have to do every month, right? So you can do the Dream Ring quest pretty easily, but then you have to do it every month to keep the Dream Ring going.
Yeah, and
so they've changed it a little bit.
I haven't even delved into that whole system yet.
And like old man Gandalf just said, drunk Serp is fun as heck. Exactly.
Drunk
That's
Serp?
how you do it. You get drunk, and then you play video games.
Yeah, usually when I drink, that's the time you'll find me PvPing. I got this, man. And then
I'm sorry, PvPing?
PvPing, yeah.
Is there a V in there, or just P? Okay.
It was the drunk version of that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but it's been a while since I've had anything to drink. Actually, the last time it's been almost a year. It's been crazy, man. I did a drinking stream, and that pretty much ruined drinking for me.
Oh, okay. Well.
No, it was a good thing. It's just like.
Wait, it's a good thing?
Well, the amount of tips I got from that stream was a good thing. The next 3 days was not.
Tips like stop drinking?
No.
This is not good for you.
No, I was like,
I know what you mean.
$20 for half a beer, and then here's a $40 tip, and it's like chug a beer, and then another $40 tip. It's like, what is going on? I had 13 beers in like an hour and a half. It was crazy. Anyway, so that probably won't be coming back, not from me. So we talked about this earlier. The drill camp coming back, no longer 5v5, Now a 10v10. How do you like that sauce there, Ace?
Well, me?
That was, yeah. How do you like that sauce there, GamePro?
I mean, you know, normally I was like, oh, you can call me whatever you want, but Ace, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Big fan.
That's it. I mean, what else do you want me to say? Of course, I like PvP. I like going to read. The thing is, as you said earlier, are people going to show up? Because it's, even though it's cross-server, are people going to actually queue up? And they probably will for like a week, and it'll be glorious, and I love it. But then, you know, then it'll just become like the naval arena. So I don't know. There has to be some more incentives, I think. But hey, if it happens, it happens. That's good. It's good progress, at least.
How about this?
A good goal.
How about this for a big announcement? You now can queue arenas, and all the servers, no matter which region you play in, can compete against each other.
Oh, that will never happen, but that would be fun. I think it'd be okay.
The logistics on that would be impossible.
Yeah, it would be impossible, yeah. Rather unfortunate. Plus, ping times would be a problem.
Oh, that would be the number one thing.
Fresh Start, with Fresh Start, you'd have totally different equipment, so you can't get them involved.
Well, you could do Fresh Start servers and Legacy servers. But yeah, the logistics of that would be downright crazy. But yeah, that would be a big announcement.
Actually,
go ahead.
Now that I think about it, I don't think that the Fresh Start servers will ever be on the same arena queue as Legacy servers.
No,
because
I'm with you.
One has Obsidian gear and the other doesn't.
Oh yeah, you actually mentioned that, and I had a thought, and I didn't even say it. What I see actually happening, and this is no information. Do not take this as gospel, but this is just me projecting a thought. What I see actually happening is Korea wants to do more Fresh Start servers, and so what's going to end up happening is they're going to do another Fresh Start server, and maybe they're going to do like they do in Korea, where there's a Fresh Start server and then there's a progression server. And maybe those two will eventually merge, but it'll never be the old Legacy server as we know now, as you're looking at September on the Legacy server Thunderwing. That will never, ever merge with the Fresh Start and every iteration that is to come of a Fresh Start. So at minimum, let's say in the last days of Archeage, there'll be one Legacy server and then one what they'll call Fresh Start server Legacy, but never the one server. And I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty inevitable at this point.
So the next topic, we got 10 minutes left and only 2 topics to cover. Well, I'm going to have to milk these.
Well, you think we're going to get to them quickly? What is it?
10 minutes, man. They're pretty simple. There's going to be a new food item that increases the loot drop rate. That's all that was said. Don't know if you can craft it.
I guess it would be, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah, and so what's going to happen in Korea, they're going to get a food buff that's like 60%, and North America, we're going to get one that's 10%.
Like yeah, that's right. No, well, okay, we'll see how comparable it is. But yeah.
Let's just give Trion some crap, because and it's not necessarily Trion, it's XL Trion doing things together. So anyway, that's all on that topic. We don't know anything about it, so there's really not much else to say about that.
Oh, that's it? Oh, that's the last topic.
There's one more topic.
Milk this. I'm going to milk this so hard, whatever that last topic is. I don't care what it is, I'm going to milk it.
All right.
We're going to make a whole thing out of it. It'll last an hour.
All right. I do want to read some chat here, though. Velq says, I can bet you can buy from the cash shop. That's a good thing, because that's a good statement, because it was not said that you can't, that it's only craftable. That was just me speculating. Old man Gandalf.
If something's craftable, though, I hope it's not on the cash shop, because then at least it puts a market in play. People want to like get cooking and stuff.
Old man Gandalf, I mean, we actually got the 60% buff. Yeah, cash shop / gold. You can buy it for gold too. 50 gold for a 60% loot buff is actually not too bad. I mean, if you considered what 6 different 10% loot drop buffs would cost you, 50 gold for a 60% is actually a really good deal. Legacy servers, and well, actually Fresh Start too. All we're missing is the 120%. Yeah, I imagine that's going to come in some fashion sometime soon. Agent end user, this is what I was semi-laughing about. He is going to MILF it. All right. It's a guy humor. Right there.
What?
You're going to MILF it.
That's what I'm going to do, yeah. Exactly.
Definitely guy humor there.
Now I'm still curious what your last topic was, though.
I'm already
It
milking
sounded like it was going to be easy.
I'm already milking
Oh,
it.
no, this is it? This is the last topic? Okay,
No. I haven't even mentioned it. The last topic up is world bosses will drop an extra piece of loot gear now, aka the Leviathan, the Dragon, the Kraken, and Thunderwing Titan.
Ooh, man, I am really hoping for some cool equipment effects or active abilities. I know that they're kind of moving away from that, but I'm still really hoping that's the case. I freaking love active abilities on weapons and armors and stuff, because it's like an extra button you can press whenever you want. It's fun. I like fun.
Well, that's where you and I differ, because I can only manage like 10 buttons. That's all. That's my capacity. So I'd like builds where I don't have more than 10 skills. Like you said, you have all active abilities and very few passives, and I'm like, oh wait, how many passives can I get?
Don't get me wrong, I totally know. I mean, hey, there's so many people in this game who play without any key bindings and just click on stuff, and that's fine. I mean, you know, you play however's comfortable for you. I still like those active abilities. That's what I want. I don't know about you guys.
Active abilities, yeah. Too many skills to cast.
Items. Oh man, new image items, man. That's all they are. That'd be fun.
That's a thought, but here's another thought. This is the way it was worded, was drop an extra piece of gear now. Couldn't that simply mean that when you kill the red dragon, you might get the glider and the sword, or the glider and the bow, or that you kill the Kraken, you might get the shield and the scepter?
You could, yeah.
And that's an extra drop. That's an extra drop. I mean, that's what I thought when I read it, but it could also mean that you get a new item, which I just can't. I don't see them creating new items for those bosses. I don't see it. But
well, the rumor mill in that particular article also says that they're coming out with a new world boss to begin with. So hey, if they're going to be doing that, cool. Then maybe they are really working on new items and things. I mean, Jake Song's back in the group, you know. They could be really changing things up or adding things. Anything's up in the air, or everything's up in the air.
Hey, this brings me back to another big announcement coming from Korea, which is still just a rumor at this point, but here's another one to throw at it. Reverting trade packs back to 2.9. How's that for a big change?
What does that mean? I don't know anything about trade packs.
Well, instead of having the 3 depots, you have you can take any pack from any zone to any other zone,
yes.
and it pays you based on
Okay. You know what my biggest problem about this whole thing is that I can't go to the opposite nation and steal something. Because if I do, okay, now I have a pack that I can't turn in. And I don't play with ults, by the way. I have no ults. So I just can't do anything with this thing, because I can't turn it in. You know, I'd have to go through all these guards and stuff. That's what I hate. I want to be able to steal stuff from people, in the continent areas that are conflicted.
Let me ask you this question. Do you have any morals?
No, I don't. But here's the thing. Here's the truth. Okay, I hated doing that, but it was fun. And not only that, but I wouldn't pick on the same person much.
Oh, you only steal 1 or 2 packs?
Actually, yeah, because I didn't even have a farm cart, so I just use a longboard and just take a couple packs and then I'd run away, I wasn't the worst person in the world, but I keep people watching. That's my fun. That's how I enjoy video games.
I'm not faulting you, and I hope you don't take it that way. I just
No, of course not.
But see,
it's all fun.
But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing about me. Maybe it's because I have too much empathy. Is that imagine you're just that new guy starting out. You just cobbled together a pack of apples. Not even a car. You're a donkey. You're on a freaking donkey.
But yeah, I would never touch those people. Come on, that's just sad.
All right, so if you want to get past GamePro, if you know where he hangs
Go on
out,
a donkey.
just
6
get
donkeys.
on a donkey and just
Yeah, I won't touch
single pack it across.
But that's the thing is I can't even do that because I can't turn in packs from the other continent. You know?
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Like I've actually been to the outlets and I've just seen like a trade pack sitting there, and I'm like, oh, okay. What happened here? Didn't run out of labor? And then I pick it up and it's like, oh, it goes over here. It goes to Nui. I'm not gonna go over there. Screw that.
Right. It's like, yeah. Well, you get the point.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't quite understand that system. Because you are literally safe. Obviously, you know, if you have an alt, you can turn it into an alt, so technically you're not safe. But if you're west and you're turning in west packs, you're pretty much safe. Like, nobody's really going to gank you, because what are they going to do? You know? Now they're stuck with this pack from the west, but they only can turn in west, and they can't even do that, so...
Yeah, that's a good point. So, maybe trade... I mean, we do have Jake Song on record saying... this is how he sounds to me. The trade pack system, yeah, that was kind of a fail.
Well, I mean, okay, maybe this is a bad way to put it, but I mean, who here in this channel do you guys enjoy doing trade packs? If you do trade packs, do you guys enjoy doing that? Like, if you would, like, how about this? If you got the same money for doing anything else, let's say, you know, I don't know, killing mobs, for example, or PvP. If you got the same money for doing something else, would you do it?
That's a good question.
Because, like, I don't know, I don't like trade packs. I don't want to sit on the cards and do that all day, but people do it in multitask, and that's fine.
Well, the trade pack day was back when you used to, like, get your guild together, one guy's driving, and then you got 10 people following you.
Right, yeah.
That was just we used to have guild nights and do that, and that's about the only time I actually enjoyed it, because you were actually with other people and you weren't even worried, because who's gonna attack your, you know, the 1 or 2 people that would attack you and maybe get something from you, they're not going to mess with you when there's 10 people and you've got protectors riding on, you know?
Or even better, they bring 10 friends and then you have a 10v10 and it goes on, you know?
Yeah, but by the time
they're fighting over these packs back and forth.
But by the time they get the 10v10 together, you're already in the safe zone, so
right,
that never happens.
That's true. Yep. It was very, very rare.
Hey, guess what?
Okay, I'll go ahead and guess. Did your socks suddenly glow into a nice red shade because, you know, you've hit them against the floor too much and the friction has caused heat? Is that a good guess?
That's some spicy meatball.
No, it is raffle time.
Oh shit! Well, that's totally different. Okay.
That sound means that it is raffle time, and he took us right up to it. Thank you very much, GamePro. We're gonna do the raffles, and I'm gonna come back and say my goodbyes and wrap up the stream. And what we have on deck for raffles is a Vero weapon skin, as well as a Apex on the Fresh Start or the Legacy servers. So if you guys are interested in winning those, you're going to get some keywords here in just a second. As soon as I find my do I still have that link? No, because I copied a bunch of other things. You are a him, right?
Don't worry about it. It's Gamepro03. You guys can find me on my Twitch channel. I have a YouTube page, but that's mostly all just the VODs from the Twitch page. But yeah, you can find me there.
And I also want to thank everybody, even though if I didn't mention your name individually, just being here means the world to me. Being here, liking what I do, and appreciating the content. Holy smokes. That was a big cheer. A big cheer as I was wrapping up. Thank you very much, Physical. New follower today. And the new cheerleader. Thank you very much, Physical. That's going to be hard to outdo. Thank you very much for that 500 bits. That's an amazing amount. So thank you very much, Physical. Thanks for all you do for Archeage, Jared. Well, you're very welcome, and I do it.
It's true.
I do it for you,
man.
And I do it for you too. I do it for everybody.
Oh, okay.
I do it for everybody, but
I thought it was just for me.
well, I do it for you, but
okay, all right. Go on.
Anyway, if I didn't mention you, I just want to say you being here, you chatting, you just following the channel and following what I do, making suggestions, taking the poll, any interactions that you have with me through these social media platforms means the world, because those social media platforms love your interaction. But I appreciate the fact that you're here and you're willing to listen to me ramble on about whatever I'm rambling on that day. I do try to provide as much data as I can, and I will continue to do that as long as you guys would like me to. So until next time, this is September, and
Be well.
And this is...
I already did it.
Well, you got to say your name.
Yeah, I already did it. I saw your thumbnail. And this is... Okay, all right, hold on. You want to do it again?
This is September, and
this is Gamepro03
saying, be well.
That's right. Good day, everybody.
Well, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you all have found this both helpful and informative. That is the goal. Special thanks to Al Hassan Mohammed on YouTube and Vibes Guys on Facebook for both this intro and outro music. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Discord. Links will be in the video description. If you'd like to support my work, you can do so by becoming a Patreon, a subscriber on Twitch, or direct donations are accepted through Streamlabs. I'd like to thank my current Patreon, Umokhan Onal, for the continued support. You rock. Also, big shout out to my Twitch subs who make every Friday the bright spot of my week. And finally, I'd like to thank the wonderful supporters who have donated to me over the years: Riot Devil, Mac, Cassandra, Elder, and Wicked Babe. Until next time, this is September, saying be well.
And there's a couple other Patreons that I haven't yet thanked, but thank you very much. Patreon subs, you guys rock. Followers, you guys rock. And viewers, you also rock. Be well.